welcome back to Memento Mori Session 3. It's been 3 weeks since we played because June, July is a weird transition month for all of us, typically, every year. Sarah's out tonight as she's going to a wedding. Mike is out tonight because he's still on vacation, but everyone will be back next week.
Where's Mike at?
St. Louis.
Florida.
Florida.
We'll
have everyone back next week, and then Sarah's out for 2 weeks for the bar class. I'll
be out last week of July.
That's right. So
you're out last week of July.
Nope.
Oh, I thought
no
you
vacation. No.
I thought you were doing that July.
I was doing end of June, early July, but
okay.
I decided to stay in town. However, she got the job though, so she's now a city prosecutor.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Congrats!
Empty chair.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sarah, wherever you're at. Whatever wedding you're at, who cares? No, big love. So we are back for session 3 of Memento Mori, and it's been a while since we played. We've already got initiative on our board, which nobody can see, except for us. Secret. However, we should roll for coins. I'm going to grab a D6 Cheos die. Let's roll, beautiful meat coach. Anybody get a 6?
I got 2.
Uno.
4.
Uno.
4.
Okay, cool. Quattro coins. See, I'm not butchering the language now.
You know 1 through 10?
I know.
Like a preschooler.
I know, like a preschooler. And that's our profanity.
Of
It's
course.
something you learn in every language. Like you learn numbers, profanity,
And how to say hi.
and how to say hi.
And
Yes,
where is
no.
the library?
That's right.
That's the other.
Biblioteca. So we've got coins established. We've already got initiative rolled. Let's talk about last game session 3 weeks ago. Tim was out.
I missed that one too.
I can give you kind of where we left off. If you remember, actually, let's do that, Kay. Just to kind of refresh everyone's memory. Well, first off, let's do this. Let's ground ourselves in a shared understanding of what's happening, where we're at in the game. Not last session, but where we're at in the game. What's been going on? What's the situation? And then we'll jump into what happened prior. Because I think a 3 week gap is beginning to refresh all our memories. So
I knew that after a day.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Never true.
You would think as an editor of all Zweihander products that you would know.
Nah, I don't really pay attention to the fluff though. I'm a rules editor.
Where does the game begin? We'll start there.
In a city called...
Slaughter Pine.
Yeah, that's the one.
And it also begins after it's been 28 days after the sky went dark.
It's like the Alaskans.
Yeah,
Long
but
night.
that doesn't normally happen.
Yeah.
We're not that far north
Yeah.
though.
So we are 28 days later.
Yeah, into an event they call the Eternal Night. No stars, no moon, nothing. Just a pitch black dome of darkness over Slaughter Pine and the surrounding forest of the Lockwood for miles and miles and miles. So what's happening in Slaughter Pine? Like, you're all from here. In fact, I think each of you kind of hail from one of the six boroughs. Does anyone remember which borough they're from? I think you've already got a little strip of piece of paper.
Mount Sawdust.
Mount Sawdust. Tell us about Mount Sawdust.
I'm going to read this or give you a brief description?
You can read it. Yeah, why not?
Okay. A burgher or rising lowborn character might come from Mount Sawdust. Their parents likely made a living as a woodcarver, carpenter, priest, or supervising lumberjack or miner. The character likely attended Slaughter Pine Public School as a child until they were needed to help run the family business or go earn some coin in a new profession. The community of Mount Sawdust is fairly close, with people seeing each other at religious services and school functions. Odds are a character from Mount Sawdust knows all the important NPCs in this neighborhood, and a few of them might know the character.
Yeah. So our viewers probably can't see it, but we actually have a map of Slaughter Pine on the far wall. And I'm going to start kind of putting pins in it over time. I'm actually trying to find a retractable map. Your brother is a school teacher. Can we find like a retractable map?
He's superintendent, but...
Well, they have something surely in the back room. He's even better. He's superintendent.
Maybe?
Okay, we need to find one. Because I need to be able to make it like right here.
We know a few people that work at at a place that sells things to schools.
Perfect.
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's
Jason.
right.
Jason.
We'll talk to Jason about that. So let's flip next to Tim. Let's talk about where your character's from, Wilson.
Market Hill. Market Hill might be aristocratic characters from Market Hill might be part of the family that owns several successful shops within the city. Burglar characters likely come from the families that own small businesses in the neighborhood or have at least one parent who is a supervisor within the Arbor Lumber Company and
Yep.
pool mining operations.
Excuse me.
Lowborn characters likely come from a family that is starting to work its way up to the burger class, since apartment and Market Hill are a bit more expensive.
That's right. So one thing that's important about Slaughter Pine, this city is only 50 years old. The Arbor and the Poole families, it was founded by two pioneer women, who were the Poole family and the Arbor family, and they are divided between, the Arbors, of course, are lumber workers, lumber people, and the Pooles own mining operations throughout the surrounding Lockwood, because Slaughter Pine is, in some sense, kind of a comparable, I guess we may think about it in the same way as Deadwood is. It's self-sufficient, it rose out of nothing, and now now these different boroughs are kind of almost independent villages inside this city. It's grown very quickly, and it is a pioneer-ish type of town, although there are stone buildings and people have been here for a while. Like it's grown to such heights prior to the Eternal Night that it was making pretty significant impact on the surrounding country of Ackledore. Until the Eternal Night came. Nobody knows what's happening out beyond the Eternal Night, though. Nobody knows anything.
Oh, I forgot to read this part. A character from here may not know. So she knows, I don't know, everybody, the important NPCs. But they certainly recognize a few and know how to navigate the market to find everything on their shopping list.
Yeah.
Boy,
So let's go
Good
next
traits.
to Nick. Your character's from the Dregs.
Yes, and my stuff is still in the drawer.
Would you grab his little strip of paper? It'll tell where he's from. This is and each of these are boroughs, so these are basically villages where you're from inside of almost Slaughter Pine here in the city.
Criminal characters and characters from the poorest of lowborn families could come from the dregs. Such characters are used to the hardships of urban survival and have known true hunger and poverty. They likely had no formal education, but they do understand how the world works. A character from the dregs likely has one or more criminal contacts that they can call on for information or favors.
That's right. In fact, we determined, I think, last game that you were related to a man named Tilligan Aramore, who you are of the family Aramore, in fact. Mm-hmm. And I've got something for you, just for you. This will tell you a little bit more about your family. You can decide your relationship to Tilligan, but you cannot be a son or brother, maybe a cousin. And then let's go to Chuckles. So Chuckles, this is the man in the iron mask. Mm-hmm. Like, he wears an iron mask. Well, tell us what maybe not what the characters know, but like we as viewers may know about Chuckles.
Yeah, well, the viewers would know that Chuckles is a Siavern.
Yeah.
So not necessarily a borough, but the Pine Expanse. So at the GM's discretion, a lowborn character can have grown up as a Siavern druid. The druids typically move through the forest and family units, coming together as a larger group only when the Kith Nalith gathers them in the Pine Expanse.
Kith Nalith is the leader of the druids.
Oh, okay. The daily life of a Siavern druid is foraging for food and protecting Lockwood from corrupting or destructive forces. If a player chooses to play a character who grew up as a Siavern druid, it is best if their character has spent some time away from the other druids.
Yes, you've been here in Slaughter Pine for enough time at least. So what you all know is that Pine Expanse in the Lockwood is kind of a somewhat dangerous place. That's as much as you all know about it right now. But remember, this is information that viewers or you as players would know, but your characters would not know that he is Siavern. They maybe suspect that, but they don't know about where he's from. And you all really don't know much about the Siavern druids of the forest anyway. At least, you know enough to stay away. That's about it. So, So yeah, that's kind of the foundation of the game, and we know that once again, 28 days ago, the Eternal Night came. Almost like, imagine like the ether above, the clouds in the sky, was just like, imagine like cream poured over a cake. That's how the darkness came. It just bled over everything, and the sun, and the moon, and the stars were gone in an instant. And then panic set in Slaughterpine. So the city has been basically cast into chaos to some degree. Living in, no one knows what's going on beyond that. No one really knows if like there is anything beyond. It seems that the water from the Brightwater River can pass through it, but people cannot. Animals cannot. Things cannot. The place still seems to have its own strange atmosphere, despite the fact that there are no real visible clouds, just pitch black darkness. So, as you can imagine, 28 days, foodstuffs, provisioning, rationing, light sources are probably going up. Some people are just kind of giving in. Some people are spending their money at Big Corey's Pit, or they're at Aramore's Parlor, the gambling hall. And where we left off, unfortunately, Tim, you weren't here during this time, but maybe you can pick up Kay and tell us what happened.
Okay. So we got to know our characters a little bit, and then we found out that Isla was attacked, which I think you were here for that
I
part.
was there for that.
Yeah, and Rufus is missing.
So Isla's the barkeep at Big Corey's Pit, who you all have a connection to some degree, and her dog Rufus.
And we tracked down the ruffians.
Yeah. And so you guys tracked them down and took them down, and so myself, or Sabella, and Hiram actually happened upon you guys after checking on Isla and making sure she's okay. She asked us to go look for you. So we went to go look for you guys and found you guys crouched over two bodies, trying to figure out what you were going to do.
Only one was dead.
One was still on the ground, though. Okay, one dead body and one not quite dead body, but close. So we went to go look and found out that it was next to Aramore's Parlor, is where you had met these guys or found these guys.
Yep.
And as we were going to go check on trying to get rid of the bodies or take them out, we happened to see two lanterns at the dock. As we went that way, we ran into a judge, the Order Magistrate Evelyn Goodchild, who was being accosted by a person because she had her poodle in her hands.
That's what we were looking for, was the dog.
Yeah, and this person was trying to take her dog, and we chased them off. They left. So then she said, go find the dock master to try to help out. We went to go find the dock master. He had a dog out front as well that was barking, but it seemed nobody had gone after, at least that we know of. So then all of us were going to go to Dr. Drake to try to get healed because everybody got their teeth kicked in. Except for Hiram, who was going to go see his insert type of relative at Aramore's Pit.
That's right.
To attempt to find out what was going on, since everything was leading back to there.
And Dr. Drake was actually in Big Corey's Pit, you discovered.
Yeah, so we ended up turning around and going.
Dr. Drake is in every town.
Who has the Dr. Drake card? I don't know who. Let's go through our NPCs to refresh our memories. Maybe we'll start.
These aren't mine.
Yeah,
This
those
one
are-
is mine.
Those are
Okay.
next.
Yeah. Maybe we should start first with. We'll start with Adam. What NPC card do you have?
I have Chief Augur Celsia Turnwhip.
Yeah.
And she's a follower of the
That one
custodian,
under yours.
and she hates
These are all
me.
mine.
No, that was mine. It was in mine.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in mine.
So yeah, Chief Augur Celsia Turnwhip. Even though it's not necessarily important right now, but so we know that the religion of the custodian and the steward is very strong here in Slaughterpine, and the Chief Augur is perhaps one of the most powerful priests in the city of the custodian. What about for you, Nick? You have a couple cards, I believe.
Horace Rains, who is the name of the dock master that we spoke with. Mm-hmm. He's also a dog's master. The dog's name is Lucky. Horace likes cheap whiskey, and he's friends with Hiram.
Yeah.
What's a sign? I mean, come on, man.
What'd you learn about... So the dock master, he's in the dockyard. What'd you learn about the dock master while you were there?
His dog hadn't been stolen, and he pointed us in the direction of something. I remember.
We found out about the families, the Venturis, or the Dockhand family that helps out, and that he had 2 people that were walking around currently on patrol, but that's all that he had left at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were 2 people, 2 dockhands,
Which I have.
Jim Venturis and Jack Durvin,
Yep.
which you did not speak with. I think you actually decided not to follow after that lead and just decided to go back to Big Corey's. So who's your other person?
Tilligan Aramore. He runs Aramore's Parlor, the most successful gambling den in town.
I would say what I just shared with you privately. You can choose to talk about that later.
Okay.
We'll do it in character if anything, but we'll get to that. So for Wilson, for Tim's character, you got an NPC card, didn't you?
No, I remember I used to gamble there all the time.
That's right. You used to gamble Aramore's Parlor. And I think we'd established, we'd established that I was the one who actually convinced you to give up your gambling habits.
Right.
And then, in fact, I think Chuckles made like a really offhanded comment and gained corruption for teasing you about it in the game.
He did.
Even though Adam himself may not remember it, it felt appropriate.
I remember. Yeah.
So, what about for Kay? What about for your character,
Sabella?
for Lady Sabella?
So I've got Jack Durvin and Jim Venturis, who we mentioned as the 2 dockhands.
That's right.
Which we don't really know much about, other than Gemma's the best one, and Jack is the one that follows her around like a puppy. I have a card for the Ribbon. Nothing that I know of about that yet. And then I work at the pool mining operation, so I have that. I work for the current head of the copper mine, who just replaced someone who was the previous boss, where something bad happened. We don't know what. The current one is Erwin Roaring, and he started at the 28 days, like when the dark happened, and that is actually my boss.
That's right.
Are they still mining?
So
chopping wood.
If you recall, when we played, you would
right.
pause. You're like, "Can I hear?
Couldn't hear the.
Can I hear the foresters? Can I hear the wood mills?" And you heard nothing. So yeah, you know that the two families, the arbors and the pools, kind of have basically the command of the city, and have gathered around them a number of families that basically have kind of like risen with them as well. As of right now, your characters don't know anything about that.
Okay.
We can tug on those strings in game.
Right.
But for now, you only know what you know.
Right.
You use your character.
Well, I mean, with the guy being our boss, I was like, is she still showing up to work? I mean,
yeah. So
I still go to work. I think we discussed since resources were getting low, people were trying to go into the coal mine and take it for, keeping light and all of those things. So
that's right.
She's more guarding than making sure anybody's doing anything. So.
Yeah, basically, copper and iron is kind of the pool mining operations key function. The heart of their business is actually called the Pool Foundry and Refinery. That's here in Slaughter Pine. It's also the largest building in the city. It has sales offices for the business as well, because Slaughter Pine exports everything beyond the Lockwood on the Brightwater River.
So I just stopped rioters at this point.
okay.
Well, 28 things have kind of wound down at this point, and there are rumors of a revolt happening. But the city is very large, and there are many different things happening. Think about it. This place is now encased in darkness. It's a place of opportunity. What we learn about the people who were in the alley that you all had fought.
They were part of some gang.
Rat theme game.
River Rats.
River Rat.
Rats, yeah.
They had these special belt buckles.
And they had the belt buckles, and we killed Whatever happened? I thought we were going to drag the one to the door and force him to give us the dog back.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
We didn't do that. I did steal a belt buckle, though.
So I'm going to give you the River Rats card. Yeah, so you learned that among the River Rats that they have kind of grown out of the dark. Basically, when the darkness came, that was the opportunity that they chose to seize. In fact, if you remember, Horace Rain said he had to let a lot of people go, and they've turned to crime. A lot of the River Rats, as you learned too from Horace during that conversation, was that they were former dock workers, stevedores. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the city you get to know about. It's a very large puzzle, but we know that your part so far has been to track down Rufus, track down the dog. You know also that because the entire world as you know it is basically cast in darkness, all the sounds of cicadas can be heard constantly, day in, day out. Like the entirety of the imagine, like, you know, it's like you no longer have sun. So what happens? Like, it messes up everybody's internal circadian cycles. You all have, everyone you see in the city have dark circles beneath their eyes. You've lost sense of day and night. It makes things confusing, which is great because it also helps explain our own player gaps in knowledge to some degree when we play week by week, or in this case, week by every 3 weeks. So,
which is not normal.
Yeah. So that's okay. This is a good thing. I don't. So everybody gets 50 reward points. By the way, thank you for doing that. Thank you for being good sports about it. I think that kind of got us back to where we have a shared understanding of what's happening, at least what's most immediate. So there's one thing we didn't talk about, and I believe this was Sarah's card about who's the magistrate's name?
Evelyn Goodchild?
Yeah, Chief Magistrate, is that her name?
Order Magistrate Evelyn Goodchild.
Order Magistrate Evelyn Goodchild was rescued by everyone in the dockyards as the River Rats were trying to accost her and steal her little poodle, whose name I believe was Diamond, I think. Anyway, she was a very shrewd, much older woman, and she actually took everyone's names down and now owes all of you a favor.
What?
Yeah. They rescued her and she took, everybody was truthful after a time. But she literally pulled out her journal and she took everyone's names and said, because she's the Order Magistrate, she's the judge of Slaughterpine. And in fact, I think we have a picture of her I could share from the previous game, because all the NPCs are actually illustrated for this adventure. For reasons, right? But nonetheless,
she had a toy poodle, not a standard poodle.
She had, that's right. She had a toy poodle. That's correct.
She was holding a standard poodle.
A giant standard
60-pound poodle.
Oh my God, it's huge.
50-year-old, 60-year-old woman just holding a giant poodle.
Yep.
Stay away from.
Maybe she was holding it like this.
That's right. Well, I don't have quick access to the image on my phone, but nonetheless, she was this very tall, soaring woman with like this presence about her. Like she's probably in her like 60s.
Big powdered wig.
She had a powdered wig. Was wearing a huge like
with a poodle draped around her shoulders.
Yeah. She was holding in the image. She was holding the poodle. In fact.
Imagining B. Arthur holding a poodle.
Yeah, exactly how she looked. That's what the art brief actually said.
A toy poodle.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Golden Girls. So I wish I had quick access to this. I just don't. But the image is so evocative. Anyway, the point being, Order Magistrate Evelyn Goodchild took everybody's names in her notebook, and because she is judge, jury, and execution, the judge of the city, she shows your favor. What you also learned, because you actually end up taking the remaining River Rats to the Night Watch barracks, is what ended up happening. And when you got to the Night Watch barracks, you discovered that it's actually not overrun, but there's not enough Night Watch to control what's happening in the city right now.
So they were just thumbs up soldier for killing one of them?
Well,
Great job.
they
Doing your part.
They didn't really, yeah. So the Night Watch, when all of this, the Night Watch station, which by the way, is in Bargetown. There's only 30 officers, and those 30 officers are struggling against Slaughter Pine Noble Council's demands to lock up the city because there's been a burst of violent, chaotic activity. And there's something else that you should know about Slaughter Pine that your characters would know. The people who came here are incredibly industrious, and they have lived a pioneer lifestyle in Slaughter Pine, so they've grown accustomed to violence. Merchants in the city are incredibly well armed. The Night Watch officers of the city wear full plate. Like, it is a very well-patrolled, well-oiled machine prior to the Eternal Night falling.
Right.
So it's not like you had like a bunch of Fey merchants running around with like a number of soldiers. No, they protected themselves. These are people who basically carved out their own, in a sense, and built Slaughter Pine from the ground up. You're the second maybe the first or second generation of people who were born here.
So is that where the name Slaughter Pine comes from?
Yes, because they carved out the forest. Right. They carved out the Lockwood and ostensibly the largest part of the forest, which is called the Pine Expanse, which is where the Siabran hail from.
Right.
Yeah.
And they probably carved out some Siabran while they were at it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some deeper information there your characters don't quite know about yet, but we're going to get to it. But the important thing is that the Order Magistrate Evelyn Goodchild owes you a favor. That's the important thing you need to know, and she runs the Order Court, and that's right next to the Night Watch station. So close to where it's in Bargetown. Basically, in Bargetown, where you're from, there's basically 6 major locations: Aramore's Parlor, Big Corey's Pub, Central Bridge, which you can see on the map over there, with the big bell they call the Dinger. There's the Dockyards, Night Watch Station, and Order Court.
The Dinger.
The Dinger.
The Dinger,
That's right.
dingus.
It's called the Dinger. It's a giant bell they ring in case of danger. But yeah, remember, Slaughter Pine sits on this very broad river called the Brightwater that flows right into the Arborean Peaks. So it's not far from the old capital of the city, of the country, Aglador. So for lack of her... All that being said, it's a lot of information dumped, but I think we're caught up to where we're at. But essentially, the remaining... you did not take the river rats through the door. They didn't answer the door when you're kicking the kitchen doors. They didn't open it. Even though it was very clear there's like an old brick out there and like wet, nasty trash garbage smells on the ground because that's where they've been tossing the garbage out the back of Aramore's Parlor. Right. And as you all went to go rescue Lady Evelyn Goodchild, unbeknownst to what was happening, Hiram's character went to Aramore's Parlor on his own.
I disguised myself as a river rat with the belt buckle.
Yeah.
And my stage kit.
You sure did. So because I don't want to do a break-off scene strictly with Nick, I want us to all just begin playing. I actually have some rolls for Nick to make.
Okay.
To see what he's learned since he's been in Aramore's Parlor over the last, call it, hour. So, your first roll is going to be an easy rumor test.
Okay. %71% chance to succeed. And 68 succeeds.
Okay. Your second is a standard rumor test.
Standard. Okay. 51% chance to succeed. Wow. I'll re-roll it.
Coin, please, for your roll. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Starting off
right.
33, critical success.
Oh, nice. You don't need to roll your next one, then. Well, you learned 3 important key pieces of information. But, let's see how well that disguise played off.
Okay.
A little secret disguise test.
All right. My disguise is 51, and I do have this trained.
You mean a rank? Come on. Bullshit to me.
I rolled a 21. I'll keep it.
Okay. What's your chance?
51% chance to succeed.
Okay.
And I do have a rank in it.
Perfect. So, you are fully armed. For the rest of you, you have returned from the dockyards after having encountered the Order Magistrate, Evelyn Goodchild. Feeling pretty good about this opportunity. You have somebody you can kind of count on if you need it, if you get dragged in front of the Order Court. You have the word of the prime judge of the city. This is important. And you know, as you're standing outside of Aramore's parlor, that's where Hiram went. And the first thing that you see when you step in front of the parlor, it actually stands out here in the dockyards. Naturally, you've probably got lantern light, or who has light? That's a good question.
I have a lantern.
Same.
Yeah. So, you know that Tilligan Aramore is the keeper of this place, but and you know that because the wooden sign that hangs over its entrance features a cartoonish version of his face, and with a boast beneath of it, written underneath, carved into the wood. It says, "Bargetown's softest beds, hardest drink, tastiest meals, and highest stakes games."
And none of those things are true.
In
Except the
fact,
last.
being so close as you are to the central bridge, merchants would spend hours here before trying to get out of the city. Remember, merchant caravans don't quickly go in and out of the city. There was a ton of traffic that came through Slaughter Pine beforehand. That also means once the Eternal Night fell, a lot of merchants were marooned here. So there are a number of merchants' caravels still outside. And the interior, you can hear the sounds of like piano music coming inside, and you can see smoke kind of wafting from the front doors. Like, the doors kind of swing open. It has this very kind of rustic country feel. This big 2-story like gambling parlor, not quite like Deadwood, but like imagine like a medieval version of Deadwood, if you would. And you can see that there are people kind of filtering in and out, guests and other gamblers. And you all are here, save for Hiram. And remember, just a quick reminder for Adam: when you speak out of character, don't speak into the cup. When you speak in character, speak into your cup beneath your mouth, so we can still hear. And we pick up from here. Lady Sabella. What's Lady Sabella doing?
She's probably looking around to see if Hiram's come back out at this point, because she's not entirely sure that they should go in, because she doesn't know the temperature of inside. Yeah. So she's kind of looking around a little bit, probably also looking towards the docks, since I know that we're close to there, and she knows that that's where she kept seeing lights from the river rats kind of coming in.
Yeah, when you look back toward the dockyards from here, it's pitch black. Pitch black. And in the days before the Eternal Night, beyond the smoke of the surrounding animals and things here, you would very easily be able to look from Aramore's parlor, or even Big Corey's, which is literally 2 blocks down, but you can't see it in the dark. From here, you would be able to see all the way down to the dockyards and see the masts of the ships that had come down the Brightwater River. You can't see anything. It is pitch black, except that small winking light that you know is coming from the Dockmaster Horace's home. It is otherwise just pitch black dark.
There's just one candle out there.
It's actually, well, from when you were there, is coming from hanging lanterns inside his home. But it's close, but distant enough. Like if you imagine, like you know Slaughter Pine, not like the back of your hand, but you know your borough, you know your village pretty well. You can make your way through the city in any other day quickly from one end of the city to the other within an hour. In the Eternal Night, it's a totally different situation. Because you're literally wandering in a labyrinth of darkness where you can't see street signs, nothing is illuminated, the only light you have is on you. Because at night, like, you can see shapes and shadows and like, oh, I recognize those roofs of those buildings. That must be the Night Watch station. But in the dark, you can't see, and not just dark, but the Eternal Night. It is a different type of darkness. It is pitch black.
Right. There's no starlight. There's no nothing.
That's right. Nothing. Now, the night that it rained, after the eternal light fell, actually the fogs helped. Because remember, fog has moisture, so it refracts light. So actually it's easier to see in the fog sometimes than it is just in the pitch black eternal night. But it has not rained in 29 days. So yeah, when you look back toward the dockyards, my point is that you can't see anything but that little winking light way, way, way out there.
Like I said, she's just kind of keeping an eye just in case she sees a lantern, because she knows that that's the way they took off, the ones that did get away.
That's right, that's right.
So she's kind of watching out that way just in case she does see some lanterns go by.
Fair point. Meanwhile, you can hear sound coming from inside this place. Kind of tinny and... kind of been behind the windows and beyond the walls.
Are we going in this place?
I feel like it might be a mistake to do that.
I'm like itching my hands.
We might blow his cover. I don't know if that's the best idea.
Are you worried about Hiram?
Not well. I mean, I don't know what he's doing in there.
What if we go in there and it happens to be that all of a sudden they know who he is? I don't know.
I mean, it's
It
not
would
like...
be very good if you knew what he was doing.
I assume he'll come back out at some point.
Are you just going to walk up to him? But then we won't out him. I mean...
I thought we were supposed to wait for him.
That's what I thought too.
You guys are telling me this. I was busy killing and looking for dogs.
Yes, we need to make sure you don't go inside. Yes, I remember.
I was gonna say, you seem very itchy to want to go in there. Is that the best idea?
Well, one of us has to go in and see if he's still in there. That would make sense. And since... Well, I mean, I was a regular.
If there was a camera on this scene, it'd be focused on Wilson's face with the lights of Aramore's parlor reflecting on his eyes.
There's
wide-eyed.
drops of sweat going down his
I mean,
brow.
I was a regular. So
It's like Japanese. Right?
He's like,
That would be the easiest.
he's looking really greasy right now.
No one would know the difference if I just went in.
Yeah, Wilson, the problem's not you going in, it's getting out.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
As far as you know, Aramore's parlor is safe. It's in the back alley where Isla's dog was sniffing around, where she was accosted by the river rats.
anyway, the magistrate was accosted on the river walk.
Yeah, on the
So
dockyards. That's right.
you go, I go.
I'll stick my head in and see if I see anything.
Wait, what you mean stick head in?
I mean, like, walk in. The rest of my body will follow my head.
Right, you play game, right?
What?
Like, poke in. Like, just go in real quick, look around, and come back out.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna play anything.
I think that's a bad idea.
You think I should go play a game?
Why else you go to parlor?
Drink?
Because it has lights?
Food?
You should do something.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Blend in.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're on the same
Now that we stood out in front of this place and talked about this long, I'm pretty sure we're pretty obvious.
There's a bunch of merchants everywhere. Everybody probably thinks.
You see a few people filter out. A man laughing with a woman as they kind of come outside. She slaps him as he spins around and falls, and she picks him up, and they both embrace for a kiss, and they kind of laugh, holding on to each other, picking up a lantern and lighting it, and kind of stumbling down the street back to wherever they probably came from.
They'll
Probably.
be safe. They don't have a dog.
Oh yes, over there. As I point to one of the merchant stalls.
There are no merchant stalls here, but there
Oh,
are
I
there are
Like they're
merchant
caravans.
caravans here.
Yeah, the caravans, they just haven't been unpacked or anything because...
Alright, I'll step in and I guess I'll play around and see what happens then. Fine.
One by one, they trickle in to Aramore's parlor. The sounds of outside kind of bleed away. As you step into the foyer, Lady Sabella, ornate gold-painted walls frame a red plush carpet lane beneath a large chandelier in this entrance hall. A brown-haired, Aridane woman in her 20s with pale skin and a freckled face smiles as you enter. She wears a bright red vest with a black cloak sitting behind a table, with several cloaks on hooks behind her, including these kind of standing wooden armoires that almost look like wooden lockers. She smiles cheerfully toward you and she says, "Good morning," which seems odd when you look back over your shoulder, but even she has dark purple circles beneath her eyes.
Are you sure?
She smiles and she motions her hand to the winding clock on the wall.
Oh.
That says 7 a.m., 8 a.m., not 8 p.m., as you suspected.
Huh.
As you just now remembered, Isla has the graveyard shift. "Welcome to Aramore's parlor," she says. "May I take your cloak?"
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's fine.
She pulls her cloak aside.
She says. She clears her throat as she looks down to her weapons. "And your armaments, please." As she takes a chit and comes over toward the armoire next to her and places it on a little hook. The number is 69. Nice. And she gives you a wooden chit that says 69.
Yeah.
She unbuckles her sword. And,
Okay. Will you hand off all your weapons, or you want to hold anything out?
it's the only thing I have on me.
Okay.
So
"Enjoy your stay at Aramore's parlor," she says.
You too. Oh, no. Thanks.
She did the thing.
You pass beyond the foyer and you walk into this smoky ballroom with red carpet and gold walls that smell of tobacco and liquor. People crowd around tables of cards, dice, and other games of chance, cheering in victory, groaning in defeat, and holding their breath in anticipation. You can hear somebody playing the harpsichord on a stage behind a long wooden barn. Servers move about the room carrying trays of food. All of the staff, you immediately notice, all wear these red vests. And these are not like the vests you may think of like in Vegas, but they are kind of red velvet loose vests that they fit over their medieval shirts, if you will. Every staff member wears this vest, from bartender to servant to waiter to whoever else. Except, every once in a while, often breaking through the crowd are a pair of people, men, women, younger, children sometimes, or nearing child's age, of these rough-looking people and wearing brownish loose clothes like the river rats you encountered in the street. And they're all wearing these big, shiny belt buckles that have like a big rat face. It's made of like tin. It's been carved, almost like you imagine like the petals of a flower. Like these rat faces are kind of made of like different folds of metal kind of pinched together and fits on their belt like a big girdle. And you know exactly who the river rats are when you see them. They walk in pairs. You can have, as they approach, as they're walking by, what is Lady Sabella doing?
she kind of like takes note of their faces, trying not to like draw too much attention, but kind of just looking around in wonderment, really more, or trying to look like somebody who's like, wow, for the first time being in here, but tries to take note of faces.
Yeah. Well, they have a number of games you can play if you wish to gamble: roulette, craps, blackjack, and poker.
She's gonna look around for the one that seems to have the least amount of components, if that makes sense, because she has no idea what she's doing.
Oh, I love it.
So if there's people with like 7 cards in their hand as opposed to 2, she's not gonna go there.
Roll an easy gamble test.
Okay. So that'll be I have a 45 in gamble,
Uh-huh.
and I rolled an 4.
Oh, looks like you're going to play roulette. You go up to this huge spinning multicolored wheel that's positioned on this strange wooden apparatus. And there are these checks of green and red that alternate back and forth.
Oh, well, that's pretty.
And there are coins being played upon this what looks like this table is laden with velvet, but the velvet's kind of moth-eaten. Like the place, in fact, when you're kind of looking, you see the gold walls and you feel the plush carpet beneath your feet. Like the furniture looks uncomfortable. The cards are a bit bent on the edges. The chairs are not terribly comfortable looking.
So it's
the velvet's kind of worn away on them. They've not really fixed this place up.
So it's somebody trying to look fancy, not actually being fancy.
Absolutely. It's a veneer of flash and dazzle when you first walk in, and maybe the haze of the pipe smoke in here kind of makes it look kind of like cool, you know, like. But when you really stare and look, the place does smell of liquor and booze, like it's never been cleaned, like an old bar. The place is not well tended to. You would not be surprised when people clear out at times that there are probably rats in the kitchens. Meanwhile, outside. The sounds of Airmore's parlor can still be heard.
Chuckle, it's starting to sound pretty fun in there.
The draw feels very mighty. Let's see if you can withstand it. Go ahead and roll a resolve test. This test is going to be challenging for Wilson.
Sounds pretty fun in there. ...
Challenging resolve, I have a 40. I roll a critical failure.
Yeah.
My first roll.
Well, I can't tell you what to do, but what I can tell you to do is if you don't go in there and gamble, you're going to earn some corruption. Or gain some corruption.
Well, you know, the little lady's been in there a long time.
Oh, yes, I
It's
see.
been like, what, 2 minutes?
You're worried for her safety.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm worried about. They're both their safeties.
So you're saying we should go in?
Yes, we should go in and we should do exactly what she's doing. Pretend to play some games.
Ah, yes, pretend. I think I know how to pretend.
Yeah.
You know how I pretend when I don't want to talk to people, right?
You don't talk.
And so, like, you kind of remember, this is something I made up in between last game session and this game session. Sometimes when, like, he's in situations where he doesn't know people very well and he wants people to kind of leave him alone, or if he wants to kind of get away with things that he's noticed, like, you can't, sometimes he'll just, like, look at people and just be like, because, like, you know, that whole idea of, like, a person trapped inside of a mask. And so sometimes, like, when random strangers or people that he doesn't really like very much comes up, he just kind of avoids it by doing that sort of thing. I go in and I played a few times before when I was feeling not social.
Huh.
You'd imagine Chuckles has probably the best poker face you've ever seen. Given that his face is not visible. The only thing that's visible beneath of his mask is what?
Is
His pale green eyes or pale blue eyes?
they are kindly blue.
Kindly blue eyes. I knew it was something weird.
No, I'd like it if it was a Velvet Underground reference, but I play pale blue eyes, but
Yeah.
no, kindly.
Make it pale blue eyes. You make it what you want to do.
Yes, it's pale blue eyes.
Nice. Better.
Change it on your
And
character
we'll
sheet.
linger on those pale blue eyes.
Pale blue eyes are an option in the book too.
Oh, I just
That's the
didn't
first
roll
thing I thought. I was like, oh yeah, Velvet Underground.
So, I show you the way I play.
Yeah. When we get in there, we might need to divide up just to, cover more ground. I'm gonna hit the blackjack table.
And you, and you certainly.
I know exactly where I'm going.
And it's almost like there's kind of a hop in Wilson's step.
I place my hand on your shoulder.
What?
No,
What do you mean no?
we go pretend together, blackjack.
All right.
Inside you go into the foyer with the painted golden walls and the plush red carpet. And you can see the smoke wafting in from the main gambling hall through this foyer. And the woman who you know this woman very well. She's actually a friend to Wilson.
Well.
was like, "You're back. You're back."
Her name is Janice Everstell. Here.
Oh, that's right. Sorry about that.
Yep. What's your last name, Wilson?
Thornton.
Thornton. Mr. Thornton, she says as you come inside. It's been a long time since we've seen you.
Denise, it has been. It's... Well, what else is there to do? It's dark all the goddamn time, or God's damn time, and... I don't have anything else to do!
What's Wilson's lucky number?
Well, 3, it's the magic
3.
number.
She automatically knows immediately as she hands you the 3 chit. And she'll begin to take your cloak and your weapons.
Yep.
You want to disarm completely?
Yeah, I mean...
Okay.
I'm fine.
She knows your name. She knows you. She's got your number.
I'll pick up a fork if I have to stab somebody.
Yeah. And she says, Master Tilligan will be greatly pleased. Master Aramore will be greatly pleased to know you've returned. And she reaches underneath the black table she's at, and she pulls out these special gambling chits that are each worth 2 shilling on the house. She
well.
One is painted red and white. One is painted green and white. And she hands the two chips to you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Please let Master... What's his name? Aramore? It's the same name as the bar, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Please let Master Aramore know that I really appreciate that.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Is she the maitre d', or what is the greeter?
She's the person who greets you when you walk inside. Yeah, she's like a hostess, I guess would be the best way to call it.
That was the word I was looking for.
She looks toward your friend, and for you, will you be gambling this evening?
As I put forward 24 pennies, because I come in and I sometimes play penny.
Oh, they don't do chips. These are just vouchers for him.
Oh, okay.
They play with coins.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
then never mind. Yeah, I'll chuckle at her.
Will you disarm as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
She smiles, although you can see a twinge of nervousness in Janice's face.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. It's an affliction.
Have a great time. As she hands you the number 13 chit, and she places your things into the 13th locker.
And I go, thank you.
You walk into... It's like walking into a play. You're home away from home, Wilson. Ornate gold-painted walls frame the red plush carpet laying beneath a massive chandelier, scintillating light everywhere in the entrance. And as you step inside, ooh, the smell of the smoky bar room, the smell of the liquor and tobacco that's been absorbed into the walls and the carpet and the chairs. You can see your favorite, what do they call those people? There's not pit bosses, but the people who actually run the tables.
Dealer?
Favorite dealers that you know.
Here, this table. It's best view of the bar. That's what we can see.
A server passes through the room holding a large wooden tray and says, "Oh, Master Thornton, welcome back." As he's passing beyond with a tray full of drinks, everyone seems to know Wilson
I
here.
wasted a lot of money in this place.
And right as you and what's Wilson's game? Is it roulette, craps, blackjack, or poker?
What's blackjack?
Okay. Right as you're moving toward the blackjack table, you could have stopped, arrested, seeing just across the way a woman and a man wearing loose brown clothes, dressed with those kind of ornate, gaudy belt buckles that looks like a rat's face. These two kind of pale-skinned individuals, one with kinky black hair, the other with long golden locks.
Paul, kind of give Chuckles a quick elbow. I don't think we're alone in here.
Immediately, as you're coming toward the blackjack table, you can see your friend. You can see Hiram at the blackjack table.
Almost didn't recognize him in the getup he's wearing. fake mustache and all.
Is he twirling it?
Yes.
Is it like an absurd mustache, or is it like a real looking mustache?
It's real looking, but he can't help but stroke it because it's not always there.
He's guarding it.
Like, make sure this is
Right. His little pocket mirror to like a little pocket
comb.
cameo as he's combing it with a little bit of wax in the bottom of it because it's like a cameo that closes. He opens it up and has like a little silver mirror inside of it, polished, and a little bit of mustache wax and glue to like put it in place. A little tiny little mustache comb. He closes it shut and puts it into his pocket. Walking by, you can see Lady Sabella standing, looking at the roulette. Roulette's like the big wheel, right?
it's the spinning.
It's
Spinning wheel.
usually on the ground.
Yeah, she's watching over this roulette wheel and like in amazement. It does like, of course, yeah, roulette wheels work. But you all are in here at this point. You're all in Aramore's parlor.
Just feels good now that we're all together again. I'll belly up to the table.
The roulette table is right beside the blackjack table, so you're within arm's reach of each other. You notice that the whole place is bathed in perfect light. Like, unlike outside, the place is very inviting. There are no shadows to be found in here. The fireplaces roar with warmth, and where there would be shadows toward corners or other closed alcoves, there are strategically placed lamps that cast a bright amount of light hanging overhead, as the ceilings are about 15 feet high and vaulted. This place is incredibly well lit. If someone was going to cheat, they would inevitably be caught.
Cheat? Why would you do such a thing? It was dastardly. Well, Chuckles, let's take these 2 seats. We'll stay a couple seats away.
From Hiram?
Yeah.
Okay. What about yourself?
So she's probably standing at the roulette table and like watching, a number get called, and then they pull the coins off, and she has no idea what she's doing, but she watches the person next to her take out a couple pennies and put it on a number, and she goes, okay. So she just drops a couple pennies.
How many pennies do you want to drop?
Let's throw 5, and she puts it on green because that's a pretty color.
Okay.
Always blood and black. It doesn't sound like it's...
That's a pretty color.
I guess in this instance, green would be black. Because it's usually red and black.
She has no idea.
Right.
Okay.
It's pretty and it makes nice noises.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Brrrr, begin spinning around. It's going to land on one of the 2. It's 50-50. So roll. Pick 3 numbers on a 6-sider. Let me know what you want.
1, 3, 6.
Perfect. Before we do that. Ooh, yeah. So pick between 1, 3, 6. Pick 2 numbers instead.
3, 6.
Okay. Oh, it's a loss. Landed on 1.
You rolled a 1.
She goes,
Oh.
This game is real.
Minimum bets on roulette is 1 brass penny. Maximum bets are 1 silver shilling.
so then she takes another 5 and she goes, oh, and she puts it on the other side because she assumes that that's how that's supposed to be played.
Okay.
So now it's on red.
Pick 2 numbers.
Let's go with 3, 6 again. Why not?
3.
See? Okay, now I understand.
Pays 2 to 1.
So she was 10 now.
So
Yeah.
everything she lost, she's won back.
Yeah, so she goes, oh, and she puts 5 on red again. She doesn't know what she's doing, but hey,
So
this worked.
that's right. So back at the blackjack table. Are you all going to do some gambling too?
Yeah, and Chuckles is like purposefully being really awkward to everyone else at the table. Like, when somebody is like really close to getting to 21, he'll like he'll like lean in at them, and if they're like tapping on the card, he'll be like,
Good play. Good play.
Are you trying to help your friends win?
yeah, I'm just trying to be in really awkward fucking presence
I love
that
it.
like causes unease at the table rather than win.
So,
I'll try to win, but you know.
so you were playing too.
Secondary.
Minimum bet is 3 brass pennies. Maximum bet is 3 silver shillings.
All right, well let's do a shilling.
Anybody else?
Oh
Yeah, you know, I mean, I
How
got
much
these 3
you-
chits. I mean,
How much you gonna lay down?
but shilling.
A shilling. Okay.
Not your.
Not yourself.
Let's see.
Well, you haven't used
what
the
I actually
the
have.
chits.
Well, those are two.
Oh, there were 2. Okay, then.
It should be in the upper right here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do 2 shilling.
Oh wow. Okay. So track your wins if you would individually. I want you to track them individually on these cards.
Oh, man.
This will be important.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just put nothing on there.
I'm break even right now.
I'm really bad at gambling. There's no way that I should have been a gambler.
So because you were trying to cheat, you're going to gain 1 corruption.
Okay.
I'm going to need you to make a skullduggery test. This is going to be challenging.
All right.
And then for Wilson and for Hiram, both of you make challenging gamble tests.
I was gonna cheat too, by the way.
Okay, make a challenging skullduggery test.
Okay.
Fail.
57.
Ha-ha!
Okay,
I actually did win.
cool. If you win a game of blackjack, it pays 4 to 1.
So, 1
8.
win.
Fail.
Yeah.
So now I have 8,
So track your losses and your wins.
8 shilling.
Yep. You gain a corruption, of course, for cheating. You see a pair of river rats walk by once again between the tables. Not because of anything you did, but you certainly feel their presence over nearby. And you've counted at this point there are 6 river rats on the floor between the handful of tables for blackjack, poker, craps, and roulette.
But I know this dealer fairly well.
I'm kind of scanning the room to wait for the best moment to leave because I've been here for a while and I think they probably are starting to recognize me. I have this feeling.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for river rats to not like be between me and the door, and then like if I'm like at the end of a hand or something like that and there's no one there, I want to try to make my way out.
So your character believes that they're being watched.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to gamble again?
If there's some river rats between me and the door right now, yes.
There are.
Okay.
You want to cheat again?
Yes.
Okay. You want to play again and cheat?
Oh yeah.
You want to play again and just play straight?
Yeah, I'm a straight shooter.
Okay, so it's minimum bet's 3 brass, maximum bet's 3 shillings.
But I'm gonna use my other. Well, I didn't lose my chit, so I'm gonna put my chit back out there. 2
Yeah.
shilling chit.
They're just kind of stacking coins on top of it for you now.
Okay.
Yeah. You got your coins in front of you, your stack, your chits. How much were you going to put down?
3 brass this time.
Okay.
2 shilling.
2 shilling? Okay. Challenging skullduggery test. Arduous skullduggery test because you think somebody's watching you.
Yeah.
Challenging blackjack. Challenging gamble test. Yeah.
27.
Second.
Failure.
Failure.
Critical.
Critical success?
Failure.
Failure? Oh no! Okay, you're gonna lose this hand and the next hand for the same amount you just put down.
Okay, so that's both my chits are gone.
Yeah. Of course, you both lose. You immediately see this. Maybe it's just because you're worried about the river rats at this point, Hiram, being discovered, and you notice somebody standing in front of a curtained alcove. On the outside of the alcove, a heavily curtained alcove, the only private room, the VIP room in Aramore's parlor. You can see this man standing next. He's basically standing near a almost like a closet door that's being guarded by a thick red curtain. He's a burly, kind of tall, pasty, older fellow with a thinning pate and these like monotone black and brown clothes. His left hand is wrapped in a blood-soaked bandage. His finger, in fact, is wrapped in a bandage. And he's got his arms crossed, and he's watching over the entire room. He's got these oversized kind of spectacles, and he has just kind of a thin, wispy, kind of almost looks like a cheesy teenage mustache, but he's clearly like in his 30s. But he looks pasty. And his hair is thinning despite the fact that it's kind of cut like...
To try and cover it?
Like Dwight Schrute.
Yeah.
But his left hand's wrapped in a blood-soaked bandage with his finger, like this.
So I'm just now noticing this person?
This is the person who you think's watching you.
Okay.
He's kind of like eagle-eyed. He's watching the entirety of the gambling hall.
But he's not a river rat?
Oh, he is all right. In
Oh, he
fact,
is?
you notice that at his back is this huge Zweihander sword.
Oh, my sword.
River rats are also armed. They're the only armed people in here, in fact. Only the river rats. You've not seen your relative at this point? Tell good.
So, I'm going to strike up a conversation with the dealer who I know.
Okay.
What's the hired muscle for?
He,
I mean, I guess it seems sensible with the dark, but my God, isn't it 8 o'clock in the morning?
so you just kind of start up a conversation, and he's, guards, the dealer says, kind of like clearing his throat, kind of almost afraid to say anything.
Okay, I mean, I haven't even seen Aramore. Where's he at? Master Aramore, I mean, he's usually always greeting patrons. Seems odd.
He kind of looks back and forth for a moment and says, will you continue gambling, sir?
But I actually know this person, right? I mean,
You do, yes. This seems seems like a very kind of robotic response.
All right, yeah, well, I will. I mean, I got money to burn and time to spend it.
He smiles. Very well, sir. How much you want to bet?
Well, I'm gonna bet a shilling and then hand him one for a tip too.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Is this already my loss, or did I just calculate that extra loss off?
Well,
randomly?
now you need to roll your gamble.
Well, I already lost. Remember I lost 2.
You did. That's right. Oh,
So
I see.
marked
that's
it
right.
off as
Okay.
a loss already.
Yeah,
But,
sure.
Okay.
You want to roll your gamble test?
Sure.
It's challenging.
94.
Well,
terrible gambler.
although you don't win, you can tell that he's on edge, and that he's patrolling. The eyes of the patrolling river rats kind of shaking him a bit. As you lose, he kind of leans in, taking the coin. Thank you for the chit, or for the coin. I'm about to change shifts with the dealer. If you don't mind, sir, I can show you to where you can relieve yourself.
Please, yes. Yes. Now, I won't even look at them. I'll just excuse myself and walk away.
He kind of does this, clearing his hands. He does the, your new dealer's name will be Elspeth. Meanwhile, back at the roulette table, you want to bet again?
Sure.
Okay. How much you want to put down?
She puts down the same 5.
5 shillings or pennies?
No, pennies.
Pennies, okay.
Well, it's not like that.
Okay, go ahead and roll, so, pick 2 numbers.
2 and 4.
Okay, you're not betting on any numbers, you're just betting on colors.
She doesn't know how to do the number thing.
Okay. What did you choose, I'm sorry?
She chose red.
Red, okay.
She just keeps choosing red.
So what numbers did you choose?
Oh, if she picks. I
Pick
said
2
2 and
numbers.
4.
2 and 4, okay.
Yeah.
I'm determined to see if you actually... It's not... You don't have a 50-50 chance because they're bumping the table. I got a 1, so you lose.
Oh, I guess I don't get this.
My lady, the gentleman says, you know that you can also place your bets on numbers and your payout will be significantly higher.
Oh.
Payouts when you bet on a number is 4 to 1.
Oh. But there's a lot of numbers and there's only 2 colors.
That is true.
That's a lot of choosing.
Would you like to place another bet?
Sure. What are the numbers through on this roulette table?
Well, you just pick a. It doesn't matter what number.
She just looks at her chit and she goes, and she puts 5 on 69.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
So, roll a routine gamble test.
I don't know what a skull is.
A skull
I think
is
it's a one.
0. That's a critical failure. You lose this hand and the next hand for the same amount of money.
She
So be sure to track your losses.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
it.
So if you crit fail on a gamble test, you lose the amount you put down plus more. It's assuming that you just kind of gamble again and lose again.
Right.
If you crit fail on a skullduggery test, we'll see what happens.
They're good.
I am so sorry. Perhaps you'd like to try your hand at blackjack. One of the seats is open. Master Thornton is going to relieve himself in the restroom.
Oh, but what if he comes back?
The table is free.
Oh. Okay.
and she just kind of slowly like walks over and sits down at the blackjack table.
Lady Isabella kind of slumps in the chair, feeling a bit. It feels a bit. She just feels like she sticks out like a sore thumb.
She
I guess
thought
to some
she
degree.
failed and she was being sent to like punishment to
That's
go
right.
to the blackjack table because she doesn't know what she was doing.
That's right. You notice that the blackjack dealer and the new dealer, who I believe his name was Elspeth, sidebar and they kind of talk for a moment. And the woman, a broad pearly smile and says, "Welcome, Lady Isabella. It's my understanding this is your first time playing blackjack.
Yep.
Would you like for me to teach you?"
The only blackjack I know is the kind that I hit people in the back of the head with, so I think probably yeah.
Roll an intimidate test.
She's not trying to be intimidating.
No. But roll an intimidate test. This test is easy for you.
Okay. I have a 42. I rolled a 28.
Oh,
Yes.
her smile turns to a kind of a curt. Her lips kind of. I am so sorry.
Oh.
Please play. First bet is on me. I didn't realize you were with the river rats. She says as she kind of stands up and straightens herself up.
Okay.
So Bella just kind of goes,
Okay.
I guess I think we're learning a lot.
You excuse yourself to the restroom at this point, and the sound kind of dies down as this. What's this dealer's name that you know, Wilson?
Well, you know I'm bad at names. I don't know.
Frederico.
Frederico, then it is. Frederick, yeah, we'll go with Fred.
Okay.
But he's Fred.
You can hear the sound of the piano kind of pick up from an adjoining room.
Frederick.
As you're inside the water closet, he Whew. I'm glad to be out of the main hall. I feel like all those river rats are just looking at me with their beady little eyes as he's kind of making water in a chamber beside you.
What the hell is going on? Where's everyone? Where's the...
Tilligan's been Master Aramore has been mostly seeing to what we call the river rat royalty. These three individuals who wear these strange Venetian masks. They're in the VIP room. The door suddenly swings open. You see one of the river rats actually walk inside. Frederick. Off shift, are ya? The man stands beside Frederick, kind of shoulder to shoulder with him as you all are kind of standing over the chambers, urinating. Frederick immediately stops talking, almost immediately before he goes into any further detail. Yes, my shift change with Elspeth just began, and he says, and the river rat says, the turn of the clock's around 7. That's right. Okay. He kind of steps back and kind of finishes his business, and Frederick finishes his business, and Frederick doesn't even say anything to you before he leaves. He just disappears out the room, leaving just you and the river rat in here. The river rat kind of resumes. As he farts and he taking a piss, he says, "Any luck tonight, friend?"
Nope. All strikes.
That's the way it goes sometimes, I guess.
It is.
You could have sworn you've seen this man on the docks before.
You look familiar.
So a lot of people say, you look familiar. It's a polite way of saying, I think I know you, right? We met before the docks or something?
Well, hell, I don't know. That's why I was asking.
You sound like someone from Market Hill. Listen up. You, blue bloods may have it easy in Market Hill, but here in the Barge Town, River Rats run Aramore's parlor. So, whatever you may have planned, does the eye thing with his fingers. Mind your business, do your
Like
gambling.
flicking urine at you.
I guess I'll shake off and be like, I don't know what any of that means, but sure, you puff up your chest and feel good about yourself down here. Go back home where, it's nice.
I'll
do this.
He chortles a bit. He goes over to the wash bin and washes his hands and wipes them on his pants.
It was good meeting you, Mr. I don't know your name.
Good luck. He slaps his wet hand on your back, and we'll take a step outside the restroom. You head back out into the main gambling hall with the others. You feel that man, he's looking directly at you. This fellow in front of the velvet curtain.
I lock eyes with him. Push away from the table.
He turns away and with the river rat who actually came out of the restroom in front of you actually walks across the chamber to where the VIP room is, where you know it's at, where the man with this pasty skin and the balding pate is guarding it with a huge Zweihander sword, and they begin talking. You know if they're talking about you or Frederick, but they're talking.
Yeah, nothing to do with me. I walk back to the table. Juggles. Lady, let's get the hell out of this place. I've lost enough money to these sons of bitches.
Oh. Sure.
If I know the dealer, I'll tip my hat.
Elspeth, she doesn't smile broadly like she did before. She seems to bow deeply
Tell Master
to Lady Elspeth.
more to. Yeah, these river rats are just a bunch of assholes. I don't know if I'll be bringing my patronship back here. But you have a good night, and I'll slip her one of the shillings. I mean, it was all free to me. I don't care.
You're gonna give her a shilling?
Yeah.
She kind of pauses for a moment, and she goes, arf, arf, and points toward the man in front of the velvet curtain, and then resumes her position at the table to deal.
Seeing that he gave her a shilling, Sabella goes, oh! And she pulls a shilling out and hands it to the dealer as well.
Oh, No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't take your money.
Let's go outside, as I said, and I'll just kind of gently help her up.
Oh.
Being as gentle as possible. Be like, no,
She puts the coin away.
Let me go get our gear and. Hey, Dan.
Water.
Please.
So you
Hey, please.
So you kind of pick yourselves up and leave, right?
I am not leaving.
You're not. Well,
I've locked eyes with that bouncer, and I'm heading towards him.
okay.
You're cue to leave. Where's the whole group leaving?
You walk up toward the door brazenly, and he looks at you. Question: what is your name?
Where's Tillian?
He looks you up and down. Your purse is a bit light to get into the VIP room.
I know Tilligan. Where is he?
Everyone knows Tilligan and Slaughter Pine.
Tilligan's my uncle.
Wonderful. Can I see your purse?
Fuck you.
He blows whistles into his fingers, and within like seconds, like 4 of the river rats are there, and they grab him by all shoulders, and they start dragging you through the river zone. Immediately turns toward you. Want to fight against this?
No. I just keep saying, where's Tilligan? Where's Tilligan? Where's Tilligan?
You are immediately accosted by the river rats. They're dragging you through the floor, and then suddenly the curtain kind of burst open, and this like large kind of jelly-bellied, mustachioed fellow who's kind of looks like he's been sweating and breathing hard all night and says, "That's my nephew you're accosting," he says as the river rats say, "Go back to your fucking room, old man." Dwight turns around and points his fingers directly in the middle of Tilligan's chest, and he points beyond his shoulder, issuing him to go back beyond the curtain room. It's very clear that Tilligan is not in control of the parlor at all. As you are thrown out on your keister into the ground and outside. As you're back outside.
I suspected that, but at this point we know. Arf, arf, arf. What are they doing with the dogs? It seems so odd.
You're back outside, and right after you comes, all thrown up on all hands and feet is Hiram. And Hiram, as you land on the ground. It's 6 damage. He falls onto the wooden mud ground. It's clapboard out here because it's close to the dockyards, but just he skids across the ground. You pick yourself up.
Oh, right on the tailbone. Fuck.
Whoa.
Just out of curiosity, did anyone else happen to notice that the guy that was at the curtain, I think the one that you were trying to yell at, he's the one Lucky bit. Now remember that.
How do you know?
Well, because the dock master, he said that the Lucky took off somebody's finger.
Okay, I remember this now.
Yeah.
So, I'm just gonna say this.
Where did she think I was one?
I wasn't there for that comment, so I don't.
Yeah. At this point, Wilson, you don't really know what they're talking about.
What's going on? I was in the bathroom and.
So we went to the dock master, and we went to the dock master. You know his big dog Lucky, the one that shut up and keeps barking all the time? Yeah, that one. Well.
In fact, right now, if you listen close enough, there's always a dog howling and baying in Bargetown. It's Horace Rain's dog, Lucky. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that dog.
Well, Lucky. He said Lucky bit one of them and took his finger off, and the guard, he was missing one. So it's obviously the one that went after Lucky.
They tried to take Lucky.
Well, they didn't really succeed.
They obviously
Well,
didn't
look
succeed.
like his luck ran out.
Or Lucky stayed. See?
You always know when you're in Bargetown. You could always hear Lucky howling.
So.
But I think they took over the bar. But
Well, they
who?
didn't. There's no thinking. They did. It got to come from.
I had a suspicion, and I had to clear the air. That was my way of doing it.
Oh. Hope you got your gear.
Never left me.
I would say when we were heading out, we did get our stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You had disguised yourself as a river rat, but which means you didn't have to disarm at all.
But I knew the jig was up. He knew the jig was up, so
You just said I don't care.
yeah.
Well,
I've been beaten up before, but I had to know.
so by my count, there's at least 7 of them in there, and then whoever the other ones are. If there's any behind the curtain or in the back of the kitchens. Right?
How many we think in total?
Well, 3 ringleaders there in that back room.
3? Well, then that'd be 10 at least. And then anybody who might be in the back staff area, right?
They call themselves the Nose, the Teeth, and the Whiskers. They all wear masks. Weird sort. Never got to look at their faces, but
Like Chuckles' mask?
not quite. Like, kind of just, covers the top part of their face. And, Yeah, I gotta look when one of the curtains open, and then I heard someone talking about it at the bar. So there's something. This is where they've laid up their base of operations. 3 of them, they're the high rollers. They're in the back room with my uncle Tilligan.
I kept asking for Master Harrimore. He wasn't there. I was like, where is he at? He's always out there greeting customers and chuckling and smacking you on the back. And hell, man, that's why I spent so much money here. I liked the man. I didn't actually care that my money was being wasted.
You did notice whenever Elspeth you had given the shilling, she went arf arf and slapped her waist and pointed at Dwight. The key river rat was, not river,
Right.
sorry, the Dwight looking guy, the key river rat guy at the curtain.
You just call him unlucky.
So Wilson, did anybody else see that besides you?
Well, she was right there at the table. I mean, like right in front of us.
Yeah.
Remember, she was going to give the extra tip.
That's right. Roll. That's right. Roll a routine awareness test.
So I mean,
I have a 63 in awareness.
so you think the lady was trying to? You think
14.
the dealer was trying
shit.
to talk about?
You saw a key hanging off of the man's waist, off the man's belt, like just literally hanging on a loop.
I think she was trying to tell us that he has the key to the kennels or wherever they're keeping the dogs at this point.
Lady, you are such a surprise.
What?
How the hell did you come up with that? I just thought she was saying he had something to do with the dogs.
Do you think his ass was barking? I don't know what you thought she was trying to convey there.
I thought she was just pointing and kind of, telling me that the big dude's got something to do with the dogs.
Well, no, he had a key ring. Like everybody.
I thought they were behind the curtain.
I didn't see the key.
You thought the dogs were behind the curtain? They'd be kind of loud, you'd think.
It's
Unless they're dead.
someone
That's
bark
not-
and point, and I thought it was dog behind the curtain.
I don't think so.
No, she pointed at the big guy. For sure.
I don't know where she was pointing. I was looking at her, and the hole over. I can't see over here.
I speak very limiting. I don't have the vision that this one has either. I mean, the lady has like eagle eyes, picking up keys off of random people across a bar.
It is limiting at first.
Well, when I'm not trying to gamble away my entire life savings and potentially what would be my children's life savings, yeah, I can pay attention to things.
That's good. That's good. I mean, again, I keep saying you're very surprising.
And as you did note, Lady Sabella, you did notice that the man who was at the door with the Zweihander did have the bandaged hand with the finger that was clearly bloody, which definitely connects the story with Horace Raines told you about Lucky biting the finger of one of the people trying to take his dog, which you can hear even now.
Still don't understand why they're trying to take dogs. I'm very confused. What the hell a dog has got to do with value?
Well,
I mean,
Well,
we can go over to the dredges and I mean, there's wild dogs all over the place.
you went to academy. You've been trained for things like this. What we do?
I mean, usually I don't recall a course on resources that canines could potentially help with, but
I mean, with like, how do we get in? And how do we get dog?
well,
You only know two, just to be clear, the only two means of ingress you know right now: the Airmore's parlor, the front doors, and that back kitchen door.
Right. And that back kitchen door, we have to wait for somebody to open it to basically get in.
so there's at least 10 of them that we think, right?
That's a lot of
Because
folks.
there's 6 on the floor, there was the one at the curtain, and then there's at least 3 behind. We don't know if there's any in the kitchen, but there's at least the 10.
I mean, at
Here's
my best.
an idea.
At my
That's a
best,
lot.
I got 3.
Here's an idea. That back room,
right.
it's got 4 people in it. My Uncle Tilligan and the three members of the River Rats.
But
Do we-
does the kitchen connect to that back door? You've been in there before. I've never been in the VIP room. I don't spend that kind of money.
Well,
Somebody could.
that's the thing. You've got to spend that money to get in there. They're not letting me in there at this point. It didn't matter what kind of disguise I get. They're not letting me in. They're not letting me back in there. But, the idea is, y'all go in there, bet your life savings. You'll get in there. You'll get a seat at the table with those three. And then all bets are off. For the river rats, at least.
I've lost how that works.
You off all three of them right then and there, and then the rats scatter.
So you want me to bet my life savings and then kill 3 people I know nothing about in a back room that's guarded by
With bare
10 men?
hands.
With bare hands.
No.
Yeah, that's that.
Bare
There's
hands,
where
not
you're.
bare hands.
That's where you're losing me.
They'd probably
Well,
make you check
that's what
those.
I'm saying. It's an idea. I haven't quite thought it. I haven't quite thought out all the details because I tend to play things by ear as they come along. That's how I found out what would just happen.
No,
Why you say these things? You're not the leader.
So let's take a pause for a second, and this is probably relevant for Tim. Remember all the just dirt bags used to hang out with Phil Yoder?
Oh, yeah.
That is Hiram. He's he's from the dregs. He's from the street. He lives by the skin of his teeth. Doesn't give a shit about tomorrow. That's the kind of for you Tim. That would be kind of like the type of character you may think about if you were to think about how Hiram is.
Okay.
You bet your life savings. You get a seat at the table, and then you off all 3 fat rats all at once.
Yeah. That sounds like it's a stroke of genius coming. I mean, I'm gonna do it right now.
I mean, I would be right in there with you. I just don't have the money, and the jig is up for me. This guy's, it ain't working anymore.
So I got a slight maybe change to
A
this.
variation on the plan.
Why don't we just go wait by the back door till it opens, kick it in, and go in that way?
Oh, I like the simplicity of it.
I mean, that was my original plan. You remember I was using that rat's head as a door knocker? I mean, I like simple, but let's face it, I'm not a planner either. Did we go tell the watch that the river rats have taken over this place? I mean,
That's not going to do any good. They already know.
I would like to know
okay,
what you want to do.
that's what I'm saying.
What
I
to
mean,
do?
The Night's Watch are too busy to even bother with this place.
Why don't we let her talk?
I mean, I think going in through the back door is the smartest plan, yes. But I don't think that we should wait, because it seems like to me that at this point they're going to probably not let people out if they can help it. I mean, they did just see him come waltzing through and just had to throw him out. So at this point, they're probably on high alert.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to me if we're going to get that back door open, it's going to have to be somebody who works there. And you know all of them.
I would feel bad about endangering somebody else's life here. We got a dog that I could give 2 hoots about. I mean, the only reason I'm here is because...
Wait,
I mean,
who was the person who shifted?
Oh, that was Frederick. He was about ready to roll out, but or go home, I guess. I mean, but I don't know if they eat in the back room and then go out the back door.
I mean, if we need in the back door, I can unlock it.
Oh.
I mean,
You could try.
if that's the way we're gonna go with this, then that's the way we're gonna go with this.
I mean, it
Do
wouldn't
we
be
want-
the first time I did it.
To be
My uncle locked himself out a couple times.
To be clear, the back door does not have a handle or a keyhole.
Oh,
It's
So it's barred.
barred from the inside.
Okay.
But you
Well,
did see a block out back. Clearly, they're dragging trash out. They're dragging garbage out.
I mean, they've got to come out to dump the trash.
Shall we wait until they do?
Wait, or I'll look up.
Well,
We can always go up.
yeah.
Is the VIP room on the first floor?
Yeah, it is.
It is, yes. On this, there's only 2 floors to Airmore's parlor. There's the main gambling hall in the VIP room on the bottom floor, and then on the first floor, the top floor, there are suites to stay in for visiting merchants.
So, out of curiosity, is there a suite over, say, I don't know, the VIP room?
know? I've never slept here, guys. I mean, I just stumble home when I...
Hiram kind of scratches his head. I never really thought about the top floor and how it matches up with the bottom. I don't go up there too much.
Roll scrutinize test. This test will be hard.
Alright, let me think for a second here. Alright, so there's going to be a 24% chance to succeed, and that's not a success.
Okay. You don't recall, but... Excuse me, I'm so sorry. My allergies are crazy. You don't recall off the top of your head.
I can't say for sure. I think there was a hallway with a window, though, so, you know, you could get back into the gambling hall that way.
Oh, because I'm just thinking, if we can't go straight in, why don't we go down?
Do we know chimney sweep? I mean, with it being perpetually night, chimneys need to be swept more.
Possibly.
I don't know anybody that does that.
Higher?
Hey, you know, I told what was the woman's name? Was it
Isla?
I told Isla I quit that. I don't do it anymore.
But
Well-
what if it was to save dog?
I guess I could make an exception.
Today is day of exception.
This is a long day, but okay.
Night of exception.
An eternal night.
All bets are off, huh? All bets are off. All bets
So,
are off.
I think Isla might possibly forgive you if it happens to be the save roof.
Okay.
I mean, I had to gamble.
No, you
It
didn't.
was really tough. But I did it for Isla, okay?
At this point, you see Frederick come outside out front. He's escorted out as by one of the river rats. You can tell because they got the big belt buckle. The man's walking him out the front door and has his hand on his shoulder, and he kind of puts his finger into Frederick's chest.
What pig fuck you for our face?
Yeah. He has his hand on his shoulder and puts a finger in his chest, and Frederick kind of nods and says, "Yes, sir."
Is it
Or
Dwight?
sorry, he says, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am." As Frederick is conversing with the river rat, she's clearly like reminding him who he worked for. And with that, the river rat kind of stands at the door and can't really see any of you.
Right.
Well, soon you're probably haven't lit your lantern at this point.
That was
But
the plan.
Frederick kind of steps away and he picks up he has his lamp in hand and turns up the hurricane lamp and begins walking back home.
Is she one of the ones that we saw walking around?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure
Don't.
is.
Oh, sorry.
So, I don't think you want to endanger him, but there's your friend.
Two means of ingress. The stakes are, if you get caught as a second story person climbing into Aramore's parlor by the Night Watch, you're very likely to be thrown into the jail. Already burgeoning with people as it may be. Then again, since the Eternal Night, it's been hard for the 20 or so Night Watch officers to keep up with any crime, literally in the city of like almost 10,000 people. Also, you run the risk of being caught by somebody staying in the suites, so you climb up the side outside, or even the river rats. You don't know if they're patrolling on the roof or if they're anywhere else. Then there's Frederick. If you involve him in this, you can endanger his life. But you know there's a lot of risk. But your friendship with Isla, and the promise you made to her, the question is what you all want to do.
I can speak to Frederick, but again, we're putting his life at risk, not just ours.
This is just like one of those Witcher quests where it's like, no matter, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, what direction will we go? Is there a third option you haven't explored? Like,
Oh, why don't I just go rent a room?
rooms are only for high rollers.
Why don't I just go rent a room?
Maybe I would.
So let me be clear. The rooms are for high rollers, people who gamble at Aramore's parlor. and they're not rented; they're given to people.
They're comped.
Yeah, they're comped exactly. Like Vegas, they're comped rooms.
Yeah.
I would say,
So
because
it's
Sabella's like, I could throw money at this.
Like I said, you can if you roll high, you'll get in the back room.
true.
How much is high though? It's not.
You just keep going until they invite you.
If you know anything about your uncle, that's probably right on the nose. And you know your uncle.
Yeah.
you basically have to win so much that they want to win it back.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I don't know what I'm doing.
It doesn't matter. You throw enough money, you'll get a seat in the back room.
But again, how does that help us? You keep saying. I mean, is the lady going to pick up the man's one of the what are they called again? Silly faces. What are their names again? Tooth.
Ear, throat, and nose.
Nose,
Tooth
teeth,
wizard.
nose, teeth, and whiskers.
Claw, tail, and body.
Okay, well that. How in the world are these people running things? They come up with the stupidest names.
I get the teeth, but like nose,
I guess it's the rat nose,
the whiskers.
teeth, whiskers. They're trying to be the rat face, I guess.
Faces have more than that.
I mean,
They're just the rat snout at this point.
so again, what does she do when she gets in there? Pick up somebody's fork and start stabbing people?
Hey, like I said, I hadn't thought it out that far. But
So I
things tend to happen once I get that far into a plan.
I have another idea, but it may take a while.
What?
Hang out back, wait for one to come out, and make them go to sleep.
Yeah, that was my idea.
Yeah, and then
We already did that with 2 of them in the alley. That didn't do anything.
then you know, maybe more come to look. And when they come to look, we put to sleep. And then when they come to look, we put to sleep. And then soon
Exploiting
enough,
the AI.
soon enough, there's only 4 left, and we can.
What was that? Must have been the wind, maybe.
You did notice that all of the staff wore red vests, including Frederick.
Right. So we see a red vest, we don't kill it or put it to sleep. I've seen you put things to sleep and it was not pleasant.
Last time you guys tried to put something to sleep, 2 of you had to go see Dr. Drake. I'm just gonna point that out too.
And a quick reminder, what did you do with the person you put to sleep permanently? You shoved them in the barrel and put the lid over them.
And put it in the river.
And rolled it into the river.
That sounds like
They rolled it down the river on their way to the dockyard.
Sounds like an easy solution. I mean,
Yeah, they get some corruption for that, but you might be a smart way to just
No longer our problem.
Let's exploit
Look,
the AI in this entire
They
city.
can't find the body
Huh?
if there is.
What was that?
They respawn. What was that? It's the Metal Gear thing. What was that noise?
We just need a cardboard box. Would be set.
That's right. You don't hide in cardboard boxes in Slaughter Pine. You hide in barrels. Where how'd you get the cigarettes then? Well, you don't want to know. You don't want to know where they came from.
Right.
Order Magistrate, it's me, Lady Sabella. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, solid.
Okay.
Sabella! Dun, 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 dun. Oh, we just finished a Metal Gear game.
Yeah, I'm gonna say now we can just turn this in.
Oh god.
This is like in that stupid Doom movie where all of a sudden it switched into first person at the end of it.
Oh, God,
Turned
yeah.
into Transformers.
I love me some Metal Gear Solid, but yeah, sorry.
Amazing.
Quick interlude, you know.
great game.
Yeah.
Going off the rails, Snake.
No,
I mean, surely they always come to look.
Lady Sabella has a question. Well, Metal Gear.
What was that?
What about the rat
And they walk
royalty?
by and you just knife them. You're like, let me hide him under a box.
Tell me about the rat royalty.
I keep thinking of a
The
Psycho
DARPA
Mantis.
chief.
I just keep thinking of Psycho Mantis when he'd read your other save
That's
files
right.
and
Yeah.
be like,
Ooh, I see you like to play Castles
Did
India.
any of you ever play Styx?
Yes.
Yeah, that one was. It kind of reminds me of that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So back. Sorry, total tangent, but worth it if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan. So you have some options. You do know that the servants, all the people who work in Aramore's parlor wear red vests.
While we were there, did we see any of the servants going into the VIP area?
None. No.
Only rats, right?
Didn't even see rats. There was just the man outside with his Zweihander with the balding pate, and then you saw Tillich and Aramore burst outside of the curtain whenever they accosted Hiram and he was screaming for his uncle. When his cover was blown, or when he blew his own cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. He flipped the box off.
So that's we really have two plans. We can't go through the front door.
No.
We can't spend our way to the VIP room because then it would be one of us in there with 3 and a goon outside the door. That's just straight death.
You would still have no weapons.
Again, yes. Unless you could just slip behind the goon and take his Zweihander. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen.
But that dealer thought I was a river rat.
She did, didn't she?
Right.
Was it because you made... What did you say? What did you do?
I don't know. She said something about the card game, and I said something about knocking people out, and then she assumed.
Yeah, because you say blackjack like weapon, not blackjack like game.
Oh, that's the name of the game. Oh.
Yeah.
I thought there was something really weird going on. Like, there's the pit, over in the other place. So maybe I just... Oh, okay.
I think you threatened this woman that I know very well.
Oh. I
No
tried
wonder
to
she...
give her money. I don't know.
well, that's probably why she didn't take your money. Maybe thought you would just follow her home later and take it back.
My bad. Okay. But if she thought I was one, is there a possibility other people could think I was?
I don't think the leader is going to think you're one because Hiram's already tried that trick once. And it worked getting through the door. It just didn't work very long after.
So
So I don't know if we can do that twice.
I don't know.
you have great voice, although it is unmistakable. So I don't know if you could sneak in. It would be like me trying to sneak in with my voice and with my face.
I mean, I'm not real good at lying. So I don't know that I'd be able to do it either. But at this point, I don't know. I mean, other than trying to... I don't think I could even pretend to be a waiter.
Frederick's light disappears around the corner.
Well, I guess we're not going to ask Frederick.
We could go after him if you want, but I think you didn't want to put him in danger.
I didn't. I still think the only plan is wait in the back till somebody comes out, and if they're not wearing red, then...
We knock them out and wait for another to come look.
And then another. And then another. And they're all dead! And there's only the 3 of them left.
I mean,
No.
Exploit the ad! No, seriously. This is great.
Seriously.
or instead of just...
I cannot let this go. This is so
You
brilliant.
two are so stuck on this.
Because it's such a trope of video games. Like, how many
You know
are
what?
inside? Cool. I'm just gonna create a distraction, lure them all out, and knock them all out. That's
I mean, I've got the day off. I guess.
This is our job.
So we wait. We just wait. I mean, they got to bring out trash at some point, right?
I mean, you could make a distraction. I could sneak in through the window. I mean, a big enough distraction. Maybe a bunch of them would come out.
Oh, and then we put a bunch of them to sleep. And then a bunch of them will come out to check the ones that are asleep. And then we keep... Yeah.
You did notice that there are no windows on the bottom floor of the gambling hall.
Yeah, I don't think there's windows on the bottom floor.
That's what I said. The second story.
I thought you said you weren't supposed to be a second storyman anymore.
We're talking in circles. We said there's an exception, right?
All right.
How about we go talk in the alleyway, and until we figure out something better, at least we're waiting there for somebody to possibly open the door.
It just seems to be the most sensible one. We know that door opens.
Okay.
We know they bring trash out.
Okay.
You want to head to the alley for now? Just
Yeah.
continue talking.
Yeah, until
They
In
always
case
wa-
something else comes to us.
They always walk in pair,
they always walk in pairs.
and you were only one.
I didn't realize that.
And we get another belt, and we have pair.
Say that's not gonna work.
Uh,
Who's gonna wear it?
They've all seen your faces.
Well,
Right.
not his.
But that's still not going to work. What's he going to... He's got an affliction. He can't take
Well,
the
no,
mask
I'm not
off.
saying take the mask. I'm just saying technically they haven't seen his.
That is true.
Just paint it.
We're painting a different color.
Just paint your mask
Smile
a
on
different
it.
color.
It's fine.
A big smiley.
You don't know how I got the smile on my face?
I look so different.
You don't know how I got these scars.
I feel pretty.
I got this smile on my face by painting it.
I painted it. That's all.
So, yeah. If you want to try to go up, you can. But again, if you go up, you got to come down still, and then you're going to be by yourself again.
But that's when you make the distraction. And then I take the keys and I run.
Well, you must be careful because coming down can be awfully harsh sometimes.
All right, Lady Sybil, did you follow that? Because I think I did not follow that. That sounded like you going down alone.
I go up into the top.
Yeah.
And once I get up there, you make the distraction. I run down the stairs, I grab the keys, and I run out the door. Right?
That sounds like it has 0% chance of working.
Yeah, and also like what
I
we
mean,
do
like
with keys.
5%.
Maybe 5. We'll go
So
with
there's
5.
a chance.
That is true. I will give you that there is a chance.
Like, there's a chance
Slim.
of anything happening. It's possible that the sun could just rise, or when it does, there's going to be 2 of them next time.
Hey,
But
you
that
know-
doesn't mean we should bank on that.
You know what all this mean? It means that somewhere, some way, somehow, someone is going to have to make a choice.
Yeah, choice. I'll just look at her.
Everyone turns toward Lady Sabella. You after all, you are from where?
Where I'm from?
Yeah.
Mount Sawdust.
Mount Sawdust. So you've been educated in schools in these ways. You were trained as a cadet.
Okay, alright.
That's a good plan, right? Right?
No.
It's
No.
a bad plan.
So I think probably at this point we should kind of let's just take
Take
a quick
5.
break for a moment for our listeners, viewers. We'll be back in like a second. So we'll be right back.
I like how you picked up on this. It was a stupid.
All eyes turn toward Lady Sabella.
Except for the camera.
Except for the camera up here. That's right.
Motion doesn't work. I can sit here and do this all day. It's when I talk.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's when she talks.
You're welcome, podcast.
I'm so crazy.
Regulating inflatable water flailing. Yeah.
You dance like Dee does in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She dances like that windsock.
I'm really getting some vibes off of this, guys.
Yeah, you're like a dancer. Yes. Oh
I
my God.
love It's Always Sunny.
I started
Anyway,
rewatching it recently. There's some really great episodes.
They really are.
The Matt confessional episode, probably my favorite. How he gained so much weight. Nonetheless, okay.
Yeah.
It's all aside.
Alright.
So all eyes turn toward Lady Sabella, like they're looking for an answer from you.
Alright. I think I have an idea. Do you happen to know where, or at least the area that Fred might live in, that we can catch back up to him?
I don't know.
I reckon it'd be easy to find in the dark without a lamp.
I think that's probably the best thing. I think if we head that way, we'll be able to see him pretty quickly.
Alright, let's go find Fred. That's the first thing I need for this plan.
Okay.
So you pick up the pace and begin running through the light.
I do.
You begin running through there. You know it's morning at least. You only know that because looking at the clock at the foyer, but there are no other clocks inside the gambling hall at all, nor windows, so you could tell the time under normal times. But it's now the eternal night. It's the last days. You round the corner, and you scratch your head. You're like, oh yeah, Frederick lives right down this way. So you follow behind Wilson Thornton, and you catch up to Frederick. He kind of, he turns around in the middle of the street and says, "Oh, you scared the living daylight. You scared the living daylights out of me." He's looking
Sorry,
around.
Frederick.
He's watching the dark. She knows that he's armed with a club.
Lady Sybil's got a questioner too for you, and I don't know how else to introduce you to besides Frederick, Lady Sybil.
Lady Sabella. It's
Oh, Sabella, sorry.
yes. So sorry about what happened, and
You're fine. How did she know my name?
how did I know who?
They knew my name. Back at the casino. How did they know my name?
Well, I think the people at Aaronworth's Parlor make it their business to know people's names who live here in who have been around Bardstown.
Alright then. The next thing I have to ask, can we borrow your vest?
He looks toward Thornton. He looks toward you, toward Wilson. I don't understand. He's not yet removed yet. But
Look, the more information that I give you, the more information that they can possibly know that you know. Probably better if I don't tell you.
okay, he begins to remove it.
It's like, oh
Please do return this. If I show up to work tomorrow without my vest, I will be in the deepest of.
You have
dog
my
poo.
word. We will get it back to you.
Well, Frederick, they grab you and point at you and say what look like mean things, but I could not hear what they say you.
Nothing terribly important, at least. Just know when you're supposed to be back. Don't cavort with people from Market Hill.
Well,
I think they're referring to you.
I think it was me.
I think they found you threatening.
Me? Why?
The river rats. Not. No, we know you. Come on. We know one another.
We're
He
fine,
says.
yeah.
He kind of does this motion with his hand. We know one another. We know each other for a long time, but I think the river rats see you as a threat. See y'all. So, yeah, he says. So the vest, he hands it to you. And?
I don't want to incriminate you anymore. So, have a good morning.
Agreed. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you need anything, where do we hang out?
Big Corey's.
Come to Big Corey's. I'll see that you're taken care of. Anything
At the
happens.
very least, if we cannot get your vest back to you, stop by there an hour before your shift. It'll be there.
He nods. Wilson's kind of walking him down the road a little bit to like comfort him a bit, and you turn him off. You turn him away. He goes back. He's going home now.
Okay.
Alright. Now, if you tried to put your disguise on yourself, obviously they're going to know what you look like. But they won't know what you look like.
What do you mean?
Can you disguise him?
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's a good idea.
Alright. You're going to wear the vest. You know your way around the gambling pits. You'll actually know how to navigate around there. Wear the vest. Don't get distracted by the games. And I need you to get close to the man that's missing his finger. Next thing.
And nick his keys.
Yes. You're going to take his keys, but that's going to be during a distraction when you are caught cheating. So, Chuckles, I need you to go back to the table. I know that you were already doing things that you probably shouldn't have at that table because it seemed like they were watching your hand quite closely. Therefore, I need you to get caught. So that some of them have to drag you out of the gambling pit. That'll get a distraction. At that point, you grab the keys. They'll think you're one of the workers, so hopefully you can deal at one of the tables. You know the dealers. They should let you through, I'd assume. Or at least try to. Get as close as you can to there. Maybe carry around drinks. You know how they do things.
I do definitely know that. But I think they all know each other's names, I would think, who works there. Well, am I the new guy?
If they see you coming in there, they'll know what. The waiters will know who it's you, right?
If you've been going for years and you happen to have different facial hair at some point, they might know it's you.
They will know it's me.
But the river rats won't.
Right. All right.
Look, I can't go in, as Chuckles so lovingly referred to. I'm obviously a bit recognized, and they knew my name, so
I guess I'll have to go in again
no.
to make the distraction.
Well, you can go in and try to cheat, but it seems like you're just going to get kicked back out immediately.
Yeah.
So instead, what we do is we sit by the doors near the merchant stuff, and if they need help, we can run in. We'll still be armed. Call out. And if nothing else, you get thrown out, and shortly after, you leave your shift, and you have the keys.
All right. If this is what you want to try, then we'll try it.
I think it's the best way. Well, this became really dramatic all of a sudden.
Yeah, so
We need some medieval heist music.
it's like, all right, Tim.
I'm not gonna
Face
lie,
it,
I
this
was
is-
thinking Ocean's 11.
This
Like,
is like the other night when we were playing Burgle Bros.
Uh-huh.
Trying to break into the casino.
But call out if you need help.
Call out if I need help. Got it.
And like I said, we'll have our weapons and we can actually run in.
Okay.
All right, first things first. Let me take a look at that mug of yours. Rearrange it a little bit. You know, with makeup, I wasn't trying to throw hands or anything.
I'm still confused. What are you doing?
Disguise.
Oh, yes, that's true.
So you begin your disguise. Yeah.
That's definitely disguise music.
I'm thinking of the Eon Flux music. That's all I can think of. This
Like
point.
Pink Panther music. With how silly this is going.
So
Here's the Ocean's 11, man.
let's see how this goes down.
Area.
So who goes in the? So explain to me how this works, step by step.
We're gonna disguise him.
Using his disguise kit, we're going to disguise up
Okay.
Wilson.
Put the vest on.
Wilson comes inside the gambling hall. You can hear the chatter and the sound, of course, of the gambling happening inside at this point. What happens next?
I'm gonna go to the bar, pick up a tray, and start delivering drinks.
Okay. Not really knowing where you're going at this point, but the barkeep is. She's telling you to ferry drinks to this table and that patron of that, and this patron of that patron. So you'll be bumbling around a little bit. Meanwhile, what's
But
happening?
I know the place really well, right?
You do,
said-
yes.
Okay.
But you don't know all the patrons.
Oh God.
I
Most of
know a
them are.
couple.
Most of them are people who have been marooned here.
Well, that's the thing is, I'll be like, remember, I'm new though.
That's right.
Who is this person? Point them out.
Okay.
I'll make sure that I ask if I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. What's happening in concert with this?
So,
Chuckles
Chuckles.
is going in by himself and trying to awkwardly get another table, and he's going for another table that's particularly social, where he will be kind of incapable of, truly communicating if he wants to keep up his ruse,
Okay.
that he sometimes uses to get out of things. And so, something like poker or blackjack again.
Yeah. Okay.
And then at certain points, he's like really focusing in on somebody, like after a while, and he's just like making it super like awkward. Like when they're doing something that he doesn't like, he'll like look at him and just be like. Just like just really make it obvious that
He needs to be kicked out.
yeah.
So you're going to cause a distraction.
Yeah.
Whether it's him getting kicked out or at least the river rats have to come over and deal with him somehow.
So the distraction is being made. What happens during the distraction?
I'm gonna go over to the big guy and say, "What's the bartender's name?"
Wilson. Sorry, that's your name. William.
William. I'm gonna go over and ask to say, William wants to know if anybody in the VIP room wants a drink.
No. Tilling's got it under control. He says very plainly.
All right, yeah, whatever. He just told me to come over. I mean, I'll be. So I'm gonna wait for the distraction to do that, though.
Okay. Suddenly there's a crash as a table is flipped over. As you can see that As you can see, that Chuckles is kind of backing away, stumbling over chairs. Coins and cars go flying. And the river rats are rushing toward him. And the man who's in front of you, he takes almost like 2 hops and begins rushing across the room, seeing that this is getting out of control as he passes by you, leaving the curtained door unattended, leaving his back to you and the coin off the back loop of his belt. Are you going to go inside the Velvet Room, or are you going to try to snatch the key off this man's belt?
I'm going to follow what she said to do.
Which
Try
is?
and take the key.
Okay.
See if I'm going to go try to help.
Okay. So you stumble into him and try to snatch the key away. Roll a secret skullduggery
Oh,
test.
this is going to be so bad.
Probably.
Oh, we gotta get in there. It sounds so fun.
I have a 41% chance. And I rolled a 35, but that's flipped fell, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So that's a
Reroll.
53.
You want to reroll?
But he didn't give me my secret, so
You want to keep it?
Do you want to reroll?
guys, I've rolled 2
99.
horrible rolls. That's probably that is my best roll.
You
of the
don't
night.
have to.
You don't have to.
It's a 53. I would fail unless it's which we know this is not going to be routine.
Could be easy or trivial.
I mean, there's a distraction.
All right, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
That's
All right.
Hope it's a
probably
good
the best
decision.
roll I'm gonna get. So,
Sabella believes in you.
I don't know.
So,
You got
the
this.
distraction made. Snatch. The key is in hand, and you slide it inside your vest.
That worked way easier than I thought. All right.
If not for the distraction, it would have been a different story. The river rats grab a hold of Chuckles, and they proceed to pound the other shit out of him in the middle of the floor. As you're taking a bit of a beating.
Yeah.
Bit too much of a distraction.
You're going to suffer 9 damage.
Ow. Ouch.
And they begin dragging him through the floor as he's still kicking and making a distraction, pushing over chairs, doing what he can to just cause a complete ruckus.
Just gonna walk back up to the bar. I'm gonna set my tray down, and I'm gonna walk out before them.
You're going to walk where?
I'm gonna try and sneak out before them.
In front of the doors? Oh, here's
Is there people still there?
Well, at the front doors, there are now 4 river rats who are standing there waiting for the other river rats, and along with the guard to drag them across. However, from where you're at, you can see something. You can hear the hot sizzling plates coming from the kitchen.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back to the kitchen. I'm gonna slide back to the kitchen.
Okay. You come into this kitchen where people are yelling and they're flipping hot, whatever they're cooking inside these large kind of metal woks, almost to some degree. Cooks and serving staff are moving to and fro, calling out orders to each other and make plate and carry dishes. Piping hot ovens with steam and heat fills this chamber as there are a number of people within here, clearly preparing foods for within the gambling hall. And you can, of course, hear the gambling hall sounds of the piano pick back up from where you're at in here. Right as you're about to turn toward the door, you see a long alcove. And you see what says storage above it. And it's right before you would move into the kitchen. You want to continue moving through the kitchen, or do you want to go toward the storage room? There's nobody guarding that room, guarding the hall toward the storage. Nobody seemed to notice you yet either. You are wearing a red velvet vest, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Is there bags of trash or anything?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick a few of those up and start walking that way.
To out the back door or toward the storage room?
Towards the storage, like I'm lost.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm new.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Roll a secret stealth test.
Oh, jeez. Could this gone to anybody that's worse than me?
It should have been me. I fucked it up.
Anybody else that could be better at this. Okay.
Send the warrior archetype to the rogue stuff.
So
right?
I have a 41% chance,
And no option.
and I rolled a 75.
You like
Probably
re-roll it?
should re-roll that. I'm just gonna try to re-roll that one.
Okay.
22.
11.
26.
Gonna keep it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
He
That's,
has to.
I have to. I
that's
can't
right,
really. I
yeah.
don't have another
Hey,
choice.
you were 4 off from what I said.
What were your chances for success?
41. It's his standard.
Okay. All right. So, with the bags of trash, the sound of the gambling parlor kind of dies down. The sound of the kitchen still kind of apparent, but you're in this storage hallway, and you procure the key from your vest, and it fits perfectly into the hole. Clack. You drop the big satchels of trash in front of you, and you close the door. Shut. Inside, you see shelves built into the walls that hold crates marked dice, glasses, cards, plates, and more. In the very center of this room, a high-pitched whine is coming from a covered steel cage in the center of the floor. You have a squeaky toy on you. The dog barks. It doesn't sound like Rufus, though.
Okay, well I would have locked. Can I lock the door before I?
Absolutely, yeah. You turn the tumbler. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go check and see what kind of dog this is. Maybe.
You pull the cover off the steel cage, and you see falling to the ground this piece of parchment letter, and that was sitting on top of it. And inside is this black, brown, and white mutt that looks absolutely terrified. She growls and snaps at you as you come toward the cage. This little terrier, or rat terrier, used to fish rats out of sewers. As this dog is inside this cage, and this little letter just kind of falls to the ground that was on top of it as well.
Okay, what's on the letter?
Oh, nothing that you can understand immediately. It looks like this. It's coded.
What the hell is that? Hey, shh. I'm gonna get you out of here. Just give me a second. I'll fold that up and slide it in my pocket.
Okay.
I don't know what I don't know what any of that means, but is there any other dogs? Any other cages?
No.
Damn it! Where's this dog at?
You don't speak wingdings.
This is just the one dog. That's it.
That's it.
Damn it! I was hoping there was a whole bunch of them so I could let them all out at once. I was gonna do a Frida.
A mangy little terrier, a rat terrier, like little bitty dog.
Small but vicious dog.
Yeah, a small but vicious dog.
Okay. Here. Squeak, squeak, squeak. I'm gonna toss him
Dog
there.
begins pulling it, like trying to play. Kind of sitting down on its hind legs, clearly wanting to play.
Okay.
The terror fleeing from its eyes.
All right, now there's nothing else down here besides just storage crud and one little dog.
That's it.
I'm gonna unlock the cage.
Okay. Clack. It's unlocked. The dog starts bouncing off your leg with all four, jumping up, and
Come on,
like
come
small
on,
dogs
come
do.
on. Come on, I'm gonna try and get it to come up to the stairs with me.
Oh, the dog. Yeah, the dog comes to the door, kind of sits and heels immediately, like it's been trained.
Okay, I'm gonna peek through
Okay.
to see if there's.
Clack, clack, clack.
I'm gonna peek. I'm gonna look through the keyhole if there's anybody out there.
Oh yeah, you look through the keyhole. It's kind of hard to see. There's a lot of smoke and steam coming from the nearby kitchens, and you can hear the sounds picking up once again.
All right, going to open it up because I'm trying to do this as quick as possible.
Okay, you can hear the sounds of the
Kitchen stove.
sounds of the kitchen, the hissing. People wearing the red vest. You can see beyond the fog and the
Okay.
dense steam.
pick up my bags of trash and head for the back door.
Dog with you?
Yeah, I'll try to. See if I can't. I'm just hold the thing down here, trying to wave it with me.
That's right. Food on table 5! Food on table 5! One of the men calls as they're clearly in the kitchen, so they're busy. Like they're clearly like their attentions are drawn elsewhere. You come to the back door, you lift a big piece of lumber off, and you open the door into an alleyway. It's pitch black. Want to step outside?
Well, I'm gonna throw the trash, and then I'm gonna go after it.
Okay. You chuck it out in this like big kind of canvas bag, and it kind of crashes and opens with wilted cabbage and bones that have been used for broth and all other manner of refuse, maybe whatever you'd find in garbage inside of a place like this. And you draw the door shuts. As you close it, the rat terrier side, you can see all manner of broken barrels. And this looks like the alleyway you were in, but the light is dark back here. It's real dark. Once the door shuts, it's pitch black.
Okay. See if I can't pick the dog up and
You scoop it up.
walk to the front.
Okay.
Hopefully, this is gonna work.
You place one hand on the wall because it is pitch black. There is no
Right.
light to be seen, except for perhaps maybe a halo light over the top of the building. You kind of follow that, holding your hand on the wall, and you stumble over a few bits of broken lumber and wood. Meanwhile, you are thrown out onto the ground as you suffer 6 plus 5, 11 damage.
Jesus.
These boys beating you up, man.
I'm moderately wounded.
Roll 1d6.
1.
Okay. No injury.
It's an injury for you. And
The man with the sword, who is the one who gave you the beating, like he's standing over you in the street, and he says, "If I ever see you anywhere near Moore's parlor again, I'm gonna run you through all the way to the hilt."
Uh-oh, he threatened me. Is he all by himself?
But no, he's with the other river rats. There
There
are 6 of them there, including him.
You could never do that by yourself. I actually say that like clear as day, no more.
Okay. We'll roll initiative. I've got 11. So put 11 and put Dwight up there.
his name's Dwight.
No night watch to save you, boy. Wang! He draws the sword from its sheath.
Since we were sitting by the door waiting for them to come out, do we get to jump in at all?
Surprise! Surprise! Surprise!
Out of the darkness.
And into the light.
So, as you are ready to do this, suddenly you hear this clattering and rattling of wheels coming down the road. And you can see these lanterns swinging back and forth kind of violently as the wagon's kind of bouncing over the clapboard road. And you can see this huge armored wagon that seems to be painted with blue and white stripes. And there are these heavily armed men in full plate armor and these big, huge helmets, like rumbling down the street. And you can see that there are a couple of the Night Watch officers hanging off the side. And they're kind of they're basically heading toward the Night Watch station right before all the violence unfolds. And quickly, the river rats recede. They scurry back inside Aramore's parlor as the paddy wagon for the Night Watch officers passes by.
All right.
Dwight gives you the finger.
I just stare at him.
Pale blue eyes.
That's right.
I linger on.
You have a feeling you will not forget what he looks like, and nor will he forget what you look like. You kind of stand out.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to.
But these yellow-bellied cowards clearly, like, they go scurrying back into their hovel.
Just like a rat.
That's right.
A river
Rats, right? There's some looky-loos outside of Aramor's parlor kind of talking, and a few of them kind of like...
Slow clap you out, man.
But the sounds of Aramor's parlor can still be heard inside, but the river rats have receded within, back to their hovel, back to where their nest.
Isabella runs over to check on Chuckles.
Oh, you okay?
I've been better, but I've been a lot worse.
I can tell. Let's get you out of here. Hopefully it was not for nothing.
I don't know.
I would assume not.
So she's gonna like help him away from the parlor,
Okay.
kind of off to the side.
Yeah. Do you want to go back to Big Corey's pit at this point? As you were joined by Wilson Thornton in his red vest, he has folded over his arm, and he's with a black, white, and brown dog. A rat terrier is underneath of his arm, and he drops something around.
Isabella's gonna grab it.
It likes to chew toy too.
It's a mangy little dog.
She's she has Pudsey, so she loves dogs.
Yeah.
So she's gonna like play with the dog in her arm.
Sure.
So
Yeah, the room just had a dog. One single dog, nothing else.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like your uncle's...
Ran those river rats right out of there, one of the men says. You know, look, he kind of says, he's kind of like, the man's clearly proud of what you've done. He says, he starts to go on a tear, basically. He says, you know, during the first week of the Eternal Night, the whole gambling hall was ransacked with night, and the Night Watch never did nothing about it. Mm-hmm. And Night Watch is so overwhelmed with other crime in the city. What were they gonna do? And what was the Master and Moore gonna do, right? And then river rats decide they're all like the high and mighty and start pushing around old Tilligan Aramore, and soon enough, the whole place is bustling with all these thieves and rogues from out-of-work people just looking to get by in the eternal night. And you taught them a lesson. They ain't gonna come poking around the dockyards anymore, trying to thieve and steal. They know who you are now, the man says.
Yes, they do. Well, be safe out there, citizen.
Yeah!
Thank you.
Clapping toward Chuckles.
Let's go when we get back to Big Corey's. I got something for you to look at. All of you to look at.
You head back to Big Corey's. It doesn't take much time because Big Corey's is, under normal circumstances, within like a few blocks of Aramore's parlor. And you step inside Big Corey's. And some hours have passed, obviously. So inside you go. The place is kind of warm. There's still people kind of here and there. It's not as crowded as it was. Clearly the fights are over, like that you'd seen before in the pit. This, of course, is about two and a half hours ago. Isla's clearly not on shift yet. She's probably still upstairs resting. But you all come back. You folded the red vest. You come back to your normal table. Big Corey's is like, or the pit, as you call it, is your hang. That's where you all kind of met one another over time, where you grew up. This is kind of the place you grew up in. This is the place you came back to when you kind of went off and do your own thing. Big Corey's here in Bardstown is a place where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. So back to Big Corey's you go, and sure enough, Big Corey, that big ogreish-looking woman from the north, the Dunnish woman, she brings over your usual drinks, and she says, By golly, I hope all things went well. Because she's well aware of what was happening between you and Isla. Remember, she was the one who was there with you.
We want a caper for the ages. Quite a story to tell. Man, I wished I would have been in there. You had all the fun, Wilson.
I don't
Left
know
me
if I
behind.
call that fun. I'd rather.
Could you get me some scraps for? I don't know his name, but this one.
She's pointing at the dog, like sitting in her lap.
We did find one dog from those
And do you know anybody missing?
rat bastards.
A dog?
Not many wild dogs around Bargetown, she says.
It's trained. That thing's not wild. It sits and comes and.
Does the dog have a collar or anything like? Is it wearing anything?
No, it's a mutt.
I
No
call,
one put a
I
collar
call,
on that.
I call out to the dog. Come here, come here.
The dog kind of tail wagging,
I reach out to pet it.
sniffs and nips a bit at your fingers, but then starts licking them. Licking the blood off your fingers.
I should call you Bug.
Oh, you butt.
We've come full circle.
I guess.
So
it's
now
his
you
dog.
have so you have a small rat terrier named Bug has joined the training force.
Well, I guess he's ours now.
Well,
Oh, Chuckles. What? Yeah. I don't. I'll once she kind of walks away, I'll pull this thing out and I'll hand it. I don't know what the hell that is. But when I pulled the sheet off the cage the dog was in, that thing fell out. Is that a language you know?
She flips it like every different direction.
It looks coded to you.
well, I mean, obviously it's something. It's
Can I see it?
some kind of
A code? Is that
yeah.
what you're saying?
Well,
It's like
Do you have a
scribbles.
skill rank in skullduggery?
I can't read, but I think I do. I do have a
Oh, you
skill.
do?
Yeah.
With about an hour, you could probably decode this.
I can't read, but if I might be able to get the letters down, and then you could read it for me once I.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
This is actually coded in Thieves' Cant, a specific dialect of Thieves' Cant called Wingdings.
This is written in wingdings, and if given enough time, I could figure it out.
but yeah. Okay,
I mean, you actually know what the hell those squiggly little things mean?
Like I
That
said,
looks like
I
a
can't-
That looks like a mailbox.
I can't read proper all, but this I can work it out.
I would like to see.
Yeah, of course, Chuckles. I mean, thought maybe it was. I mean, maybe your affliction would help you.
It looks like this person who's written this was always thinking of cancer.
Cancer.
Yes, it was a cancerous set of thoughts that were on their brain.
Well, yeah, if you can do it. It was like a little finger. I mean, that's a little. Is that a little hand?
So you begin kind of spending some time over it, looking at the writing,
Take your.
and
While he's doing that, I'm gonna check on Isla
yeah, sure,
and Pudsey.
okay, fair enough. So upstairs you go. Okay, fair enough. You're poring over the wingdings, as they call it.
Is it 1 or 2 or 3 or 4?
Yeah, no kidding.
I never understood the purpose of that font.
Symbols.
I know.
It's just for extra symbols.
That's right. All
Just to
right.
show off the character map.
At this point, you can begin transcribing. You have a writing kit.
I don't know where.
I probably don't
That would have been Eaglesdove if Eaglesdove was here.
It's true. Eaglesdove does have one, so we'll assume that she can help.
Eaglesdove, could you write this down, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one. Never mind.
Nice.
Oh, Chuckles, could you write this down, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you begin transcribing, because you know how to read, of course, Wilson. So you may read this aloud and read it slowly, like as if he's transcribing slowly.
To the mysterious rat royalty. Yes, you are new, but your actions have already caused a body or two to come across my embalming table. I'm impressed with how quick you got an operation together. I assume decoding this letter will be no problem for people of your talent. Okay. I'm giving you this cage and proposing a relationship. I need dogs. The reasons are none of your concerns, but I'm eager to get them. For each dog you capture and bring to the Berrybrook mausoleum in the cemetery behind the house of, is that Augur? Augurs?
Augur.
Augurs? Okay. I shall give you 10 crowns. No wonder they're kidnapping dogs. Guys, we're taking that mutt with us to wherever we're going. Would you call him Bug or Buck?
Bug.
Yeah, well...
Let's call him 10 crowns.
Let's call him crowns. If this deal is amenable, please deliver 3 dogs as soon as you are able. I will take others after the initial delivery and inform you when I have enough. I don't care where the dogs come from or what condition they are in as long as they are alive. Sincerely, Chief Mortician Mario, is that Basco? Is that how you say it?
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Earl Basco.
Is everybody here an aristocrat?
She is.
Yes, I am.
Oh, make it easy folklore.
Well, this fella's spending some money on some dogs.
Odd 5. Definitely got it.
The Berrybrook, the word Berrybrook immediately, like, you know who the Berrybrooks are. They're one of Slaughter Pine's most prominent aristocratic families. In fact, the only child of the Berrybrooks, Quinn, sits on the Slaughter Pine Noble Council. But you know Berrybrook Mausoleum. It's the only cemetery in the city.
Behind the house of...
In Market Hill. In your borough.
Market Hill's my borough.
Your borough, right?
Yeah, I'm Mount Sawdust.
That's right.
Yeah, I know where this is at then.
You do.
10 crowns. Chuckles, are we chuckling? Because I think you got 10... I think, I'm telling you, man, that dog's name is 10 crowns from now on.
It is Bug.
Alright. Don't get my humor, do you?
I get your humor.
I'll hand this over to her. Alright, boss lady. You tell me what you think.
I'm not saying we can't turn Bug into 10 crowns, but it is Bug.
The first thing that, well, as you're kind of walking through this aloud, Chuckles, your mind immediately turns toward Chief Augur Selsnia Turnwhip. The House of Augurs is right by the graveyard.
We may have to deal with Selsnia.
But to deal with who?
Selsnia Turnwhip.
I don't know who that is.
She's chief of Augur. She don't like me very much. It is because I have a different idea on custodian and steward than she does.
Well, I mean...
You've never heard of this Merle.
Well, hold on a second. I hate to say this, but maybe we should show this to the Night's Watch. There's some uppity-ups. These crats, they're in on it. So maybe they'd be interested.
Or maybe we show it to a lady we save.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking.
hell, you guys just met out. I am not used to ideas coming from you.
I had the idea to begin with, and
What, to go in and try and kill three
and
people with a fork?
Sabella tweaked it. It was my idea to begin with.
Yeah, thanks for that foundation.
Nowhere. I mean, to be clear, from Lady Sabella's perspective, you cannot imagine that any aristocratic family would be anywhere tied up to this. It's just merely that the Berrybrook Mausoleum was sponsored by the Berrybrook family, and now one of the Quinn Berrybrook happens to sit on the Slaughter Pine Council.
Well, you know who this mortician is? This chief mortician?
Basco. I don't think so.
Do I know him since he's from my hood?
What did your character background say?
It says Market Hill.
Read off your little thing about.
Oh, I already told you characters from here may not know all the important NPCs.
Yeah, Merle Basco doesn't sound familiar to you, but a gravekeeper, a chief gravekeeper, whoever it may be, definitely is the keeper of the Berrybrook Mausoleum. It's the only public cemetery in Slaughter Pine. To be clear.
I mean, there's only one person, right? Like, that would be the lead of this. There's only so many morticians. I mean, people die, but once they're dead, you don't really get their service again. So, I assume there's not a lot of morticians in the city.
Yeah.
But I don't kill people often enough to have to deal with them.
Well, usually when the morticians coming around, you haven't killed them. They've died of natural causes.
Well, one way or the other, if the body's there, they gotta get rid of it.
Because when you kill them, you throw them in the river like we did.
Sometimes. Well,
You
okay,
never
when
have to
you're
think about it
guarding
again.
and they happen to die under your
True.
watch,
That is true.
you know, things happen.
You know,
But I've never dealt with a mortician, but I
Here's
noticed.
your NPC card for more chief mortician Merle Basco.
It's his best place to put them. It was in the name, River Rat.
Well,
Sorry, gravekeeper. Changed to gravekeeper,
Yes.
not mortician.
Perfect.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What are you gonna do here, boss lady?
Well, so there was a cage in there.
Yeah, the cage he's speaking of. I guess that was the cage that I saw that Bug was in. Or Crowns to
Too bad we don't have the
hiring
cage.
me.
Because we could just put the cage in the
Well,
cemetery and
you
then
know-
wait for somebody to come pick it up.
Oh, they're supposed to leave the cage in the cemetery each time?
I don't know. I mean, they don't say. They just say deliver them. But I would assume that that's so the dogs don't run away.
Well,
Or we find another cage.
I have the key, and I locked that door.
Well,
So
maybe you should go back in through the back door
No.
to the kitchen and get the cage and come back out.
well,
That
the
ain't-
second that they find out there's not a dog in there or the key's missing, I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to get back to that.
100% sure
It's
that's.
worth a try, right?
Well, what I'm thinking is maybe we just put a cage there. Maybe it doesn't have to be that specific one. I mean, they said 3 dogs, and could you fit 3 dogs in that cage you saw? I don't know.
Or you could just tie the dog up.
It was quite a big cage, but
Just tie it to a tree or
I
something.
mean, it would be pretty inhumane to put 3 little dogs in a cage. But
I don't think they really care if they're kidnapping the dogs and the
you're right.
humanity.
You're right. I was, I don't know. I mean, I say we got the dog. Let's just go see if he'll pay us 10 crowns for it. Then we slap some irons on him. We ask for Lucky back. I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, Lucky's fine. Rufus.
Oh, sorry, Rufus.
Miss
sure.
Lucky can take care of Lucky's self, as our friend was proven.
I'm pretty sure whatever he's doing with these dogs isn't keeping them as pets.
I mean, we could use Bug to lure them out. I just don't want anything to happen to them. but maybe the only way.
So you guys were willing to let me go in there, but a dog.
It's just a dog.
We'll talk about that later.
Well,
And to be clear, as a reminder, all of you have a connection to both Isla
Right,
and Rufus.
That's what
Yeah.
I completely understand.
I was
That's what I'm
talking
saying.
about Bug, though.
I just don't. Think,
It doesn't matter.
I know.
I don't think there is a Rufus anymore. But if I'm reading that letter right,
Well,
shudder to
we
think.
don't know. I mean, they wanted the dog alive, so
yeah.
best case scenario, they're doing something weird and haven't gotten to Rufus. So, yeah, I guess we should do this. It doesn't say there's a time, so I guess we could do it now. But
I mean, do more
you
to
probably need to be looked at.
there's no probably.
Yeah.
They kicked me in the knee.
Yeah,
Cowards, all of them.
I'm looking around to see if Drake still is here or if he's left at this point.
Excuse me. You're looking around, but you don't see Dr. Drake anywhere. Most of the people... I'm sorry. You're right. I thought you were outside for some reason. What am I doing here?
Dr. Drake.
Yeah, you're looking around the tavern, and although it is still busy, the floorboards have been replaced where the pit was, because remember they fight in the basement and you watch overhead. The floorboards have been placed back down, the tables have been moved back on top of it. You look around, most people have filtered out of here, including Dr. Drake.
well, we should go find him.
He's probably open because it's got to be around 9 o'clock in the morning. I bet he's keeping normal hours.
Yeah.
He's typically found, as you all know, at the Whiskey and Sawbones. And that's in the Dregs.
Well,
Well, we got to go that way anyway to go over to Market Hill.
yeah. Let's get you to Dr. Drake and...
She looks at Bug and she like sits there and like pets his face and like is petting him and everything, and she's like,
and then use you for bait.
And with that, we'll draw the evening to a close. We play for, 3 hours? So, 75 reward points. So, I don't think anyone gained... Did anybody gain corruption tonight?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I
right.
I did.
I thought I would, but
So, our corruption roll for tonight is... 3.
that's not a good roll for most people.
Yeah.
Okay,
So let's talk character stuff. Let's talk about the post game tonight. We kind of pick back up after a little bit of an extended absence. A little bit, you know. So the question I have is let's start first with Chuckles.
Yeah.
Tonight's session, where's Chuckles at within his mind? Like, obviously, this is, once again, we're returning after a while, but like, what's his kind of takeaway from the session, or what's your takeaway from the session for your character?
He is confirming some biases in his head that might be like dangerous later, and that these Eridane folk are easily manipulated. And like the easiest way to manipulate them is to act like you're incompetent or incapable, and you can get them to do whatever you want. And so he's also, he's like starting to form opinions that like people who are in big gangs are largely cowards, and like it took 5 of them to remove me from the situation. But what he's not realizing, though, is that they were trying to do it peacefully, because otherwise they would have just killed him. So he's like, his it was rancor. Yeah, his rancor is kind of like getting formed a little bit more strong there. But then, the whole reason he's trying to do this is to get to the bottom of it for Ayla, and so he's willing to put himself through a lot of that stuff to get Rufus back for Ayla.
Okay, cool. So it's 50 reward points.
Okay.
Let's switch to somebody else. So about Wilson.
Well, Wilson feels like it's the first time he's kind of been useful, even though nothing he did tonight was really in his wheelhouse.
You made it out all
I made
right.
it out. I mean, I did something I never did before. I gambled a little more, but everybody backslides.
Yeah.
Everybody
I
backslides.
say never give them stops. They just quit. Or they never quit. They just stop.
Said, and it didn't feel as well. It didn't feel as good as it usually does.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I think he's starting to learn his place in the group. He feels a little more comfortable around everybody. So he's used to taking orders from an officer anyway. So this is not anything new for him.
That's right. Because what's your profession again?
Heads knight.
I thought, okay. Cool. Get your reward points. Let's move next to Hiram.
So I think Hiram is pretty worried about his uncle, considering everything that happened. Feared the worst based on everything he learned while he was in the gambling hall, and had to confirm it for himself, and the only way he really knew how to. So yeah, he kind of was like trying to cling towards sophistication at first with some of the, probably betting above his station with throwing in, 2 shilling at a time for a baker is a lot of money. But when he continued to lose, it kind of got the better of him. He just wanted to get everything finished before he lost any more money. So that's when he started to lean a little bit more towards his mayhem. And I think that Hiram is going to kind of insist that this whole river rat situation could be completely resolved, just to get his uncle out of danger at some point. So like this quote unquote chapter may be over, but like the simple fact that like we're kind of quote unquote moving on to a different portion of the city like doesn't mean he doesn't want to come back here and resolve things.
Yeah. Things take time. They're not going to happen overnight.
Yeah. It's like we started out trying to do one thing, and now like it's one more thing that needs to be done. And again, convincing the rest of the group that this is a worthy cause may take some doing.
Yep. Fair point. 50 reward points. And then last but not least, Lady Sabella.
Oh, you got me, man.
Sorry, I gotta drop my voice back out.
Glory register.
Funnily enough, I don't talk up there. Sabella is, she's not like a fresh cadet, but she hasn't been out of school for that long or done that much leadership stuff, and then she kind of got thrown to it with everybody, because everybody's like, we're looking for one, and she's like, I guess it's me. And she's probably one of those people that overthinks a lot, so her plans may tend to be a bit long-winded, but she tries to think of every possibility, and she thought of every possibility, but the cost, and didn't think about the fact that like Chuckles was gonna get the shit beat out of him. She was like, oh, well, they just threw Hiram out, so that's what they do, right? Nope. And so now she probably feels like horrible that happened, but she's trying to keep like stiff upper lip and stuff, but it's not in her nature to like sacrifice other people.
Yeah.
Because her chaos alignment's actually martyrdom, so she would have wished it was her instead.
Yeah.
But she knew that wouldn't have worked. So she's kind of probably feeling the guilt over that right now, but she's trying to realign her mind and go, okay, this is where you didn't think of these possibilities. So she's going to go back in because she is just like a tactician at heart. So.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Okay, 50 reward points. Well, I think we'll wrap up. Next week, we'll have everyone.
Go. Sarah's got her.
Sarah's
classes.
in next week,
Sarah's
but
in
she's
next
out for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, it's last.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be full complement everybody next week. So we can do Feast for Friends 4.
Nice.
Yeah. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for your patronage. We'll see you next week for session 4 of Memento Mori.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.